Okay, we're live now, I guess. All right, chat. Look, I did an entire intro on YouTube, on TikTok, or I said on YouTube. I did an entire intro on Twitch and TikTok, not realizing I didn't press the go live button on YouTube. What the heck? What the heck? I did an entire intro for like how long? What was that? Like, I did that for like 3 minutes. What? I thought I pressed the go live button. I'm so... perfect start off this. I'm going to repeat everything. I don't care. I'm going to repeat everything. All right. What's good, chat? How's it going? The wait's over. Well, I guess my wait's over now, too, because I thought I was live the whole time on YouTube. I'm so glad I checked that, because I would have started the tier list. I would have started yapping, did blah, 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 everything. We got the TikTok chat going. What's good, I'm Malaysian. What's good, Isaac? How's it going? How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Where was I? What was I saying? Okay, so you've seen tier lists if you've been in the Kingdom Hearts fandom. What's good, Wiley? What's good, below average? Xavion, what's poppin'? We don't have music. We don't have music right now. We're adding to the dramatic effect, okay? We're adding a little bit to that dramatic effect. Should I make the chat like a lot smaller than this, maybe? I don't know. You guys like chat big on the screen? Okay, I'll let you guys answer that question while I do the whole intro thing. So you guys have seen many tier lists in many different communities. If you're in a niche part of any fandom, if you like commit yourself to very strongly to a specific fandom, franchise, genre, you've seen a tier list. You've done tier lists. Fighting games, Kingdom Hearts, Trails, Final Fantasy, live service games, shooters, Hoyoverse games, etc., etc. You've done tier lists, you have tiered characters, you have ranked characters before. So what we are doing is we're ranking the Kingdom Hearts games. We've done many tier lists for Kingdom Hearts in the past. What makes these different today is this is the beginning of what is going to be a yearly thing on this channel, maybe twice a year, maybe once at the beginning, once at the end. These are going to be the 2026 Kingdom Hearts tier list. There's going to be a series we do throughout, I want to say the week or next week, right? Just until we're done. We're going to be doing games, worlds, and characters. Those are going to be the main three we do. If we do other tier lists, it will be via request, or perhaps if I put goals up, maybe reach certain goals, memberships, yada yada. I haven't set that up yet, so I don't know. But the main three tier lists I want to do: games, worlds, characters. You guys have or had the poll tied for the longest, bruh. What the heck? I put this poll up last night when I scheduled the live stream. I put, what order are we doing these games? Now it's good. Okay, now we have something swaying one way now. We had from S to D tier, or from the bottom, D to S tier. It seems like you guys want to do it from the bottom. So, I don't know why I said it like that. You know what? I'm just going to end the poll now after saying that. All right. I'm a little anxious, man. So, I wrote a ton of notes last night. Mostly for two games in particular. Also, hi ZZ, hi Putty Apple. Y'all have to say hi to Putty Apple in the chat. That's Mrs. Prodigy in the chat right there. Make her feel loved, make her feel welcome, make her feel like she's a part of the community. We got, okay, hold up. TikTok viewers are out here tonight, okay? We got Ejo. Y'all already saying y'all pissed. What's good, Parker? What's good, Spiky? What's good? Let me say hi to everyone on YouTube. What's good, Wiley, Austin, below average, Silv Sora, Ogino, Dizzy, Kayam Sky. Your name's just user. I don't know if you put a username in on YouTube. What's good, Mr. Creator? Hope you guys are doing good. Tier list for Keyblades? Maybe. We're going to focus on the games one first, because this is the big one that I feel like I have to do a lot of explanation for. I'm going to be doing a lot of explanation for all these tier lists, but this is the big one I have to do. So we're going to add a row below. Or I put it up. I'm dumb. Okay. We're not a row here. I'm sorry. I know I'm a Kingdom Hearts YouTuber. I should have played this game by now. I gotta be honest. I have not. I have not played the original Chain of Memories. I have not played it. The original Chain of Memories, I've still yet to play. I don't know Like I can't rate a game I haven't played, even though it's the same story as Rechain. Uh, a lot people treat it separately enough to where maybe I should review it separately. So that's a game we're going to try to get down and we're going to try to play this year. So next tier list, we will have Rechain. We will have Chain of Memories up here. Okay. So I'm sorry, I had to grab some water real quick. Let me drink some more because I just got done doing a big conversation with my friends. So let me make sure I'm hydrated so I can yap. This will very likely be put into a video, by the way. Okay, so chat wants me to start from the bottom. Now, we're just going to keep it basic, normal right now. We're going to add tiers, maybe remove tiers throughout this. I'm going to start off back in the day, like before this game released, I didn't have a D tier for Kingdom Hearts. Now, oh wait, this tier list, okay, it does separate the two. I didn't have a D tier for Kingdom Hearts, but I actually think I might have to add one. Yo, Matt, thank you so much for the follow on TikTok. I appreciate that. Ooh. I haven't played original coded either, so I'm going to be honest about that. Well, yeah, I have. I'm lying. I have played it. I'm not going to rate it, though. I'm just not going to rate it. Okay. All right. Okay, starting from the bottom is actually a little more difficult. I'm sorry, Dark Road. I love you a lot. You got to go in D tier. And the reason you have to go into D tier is because of the circumstances surrounding your release and your gameplay. The story is really good. The story for Dark Road is amazing. And I will give a lot of compliments to Dark Road right now. So I'll say all the pros and I'll say some cons. Big pro of Kingdom Hearts Dark Road. The story is probably like it is a very unique story in Kingdom Hearts. It has this weird anthology approach to its narrative that I really, really enjoy. It has this episodic approach to its narrative that I would actually enjoy seeing in regular Kingdom Hearts games if we perhaps got another non-number title in the future. I think that would be really cool. But the negatives are mainly its gameplay. The story does feel like it could have went on a little longer. I think the story for Dark Road might actually be better than some of the other stories that are on this list, which is crazy I'm saying that, but I genuinely think Dark Road's narrative was really strong. But I got to give it a little bit of flack for being a mobile game, being a mobile exclusive Kingdom Hearts game that isn't even exclusive anymore. It's not there. It just doesn't exist nowadays. I wish this wasn't our closure story to Xehanort. Xehanort deserves a way better closure story. So Dark Road, I think potentially, if it got remade, remastered, could be up here. Straight up. But because it's stuck in the mobile vacuum, the gameplay was very weird. Like, I don't know why they made a idle game for Kingdom Hearts. Like, I had it on. There's streams back in 2020, 2021 of me having Dark Road opened up on my stream in the background on BlueStacks, just grinding away. It was a very weird idle game. And the breaks they took in between, the one break they took in between was very weird. But there's just not much to say. Like, I can't drag this on. There's not that much to say about Dark Road aside from the story's amazing. The story's really good in regards to a tier list, but I do think it probably should be at the bottom. So we're going to put Dark Road at the bottom. Now, going up the list, going from bottom to top is a little hard. I feel like it's way easier to like think about, all right, what's better than this? Than like, all right, what's the worst? What's the second worst? What's the third worst? But hey, you know what? I guess we're retention farming right now. Sure. All right. After this, so we get into the C tiers. We get into some of the more meaty games and experiences. You guys this might be a little cliche, but you know what? Chat, hold on. We're already going to make an adjustment. Dark Road's not at the bottom. I just thought about something. Dark Road's not at the bottom. Dark Road's not at the bottom. All right. It is sharing the bottom spot with something else, though. This is ordered, by the way. Rico is the worst Kingdom Hearts game. All right, understand, chat. For these tier lists today, I'm usually like, I'm pretty upfront with my opinions. I'm also pretty upfront about my my changing of opinions. I'm a human being. My opinions change and shift over time. Not much will Recoded. I will replay this game this year. I will finally do a replay through of this game this year. But I have my first playthrough of Recoded live on stream. We did it back in 2021, and I didn't think the game was bad, but brother, it is definitely the worst Kingdom Hearts game. So let's break this down to story, worlds, combat. For Recoded and Dark Road, I think the story for Recoded it's mediocre. Like, old Kingdom Hearts community, old school Kingdom Hearts community, we talked about the story of Recoded and how it didn't have any narrative. It was memed. It was talked about ad nauseum. We know the story doesn't have much going for it. But I'll actually talk about some of the pros of the story, and that's mainly its characters. Doubted Sora is a very interesting character who is like, it's like an alternative version of Sora. It's like you get a lot of what you like about Sora, but you get this weird, like, kind of angst and almost comedic like stupidity with him in Recoded. I don't know if I'd say he's stupid, but he's very, I think of that scene in Wonderland where he's just like, okay, you want me to do this? All right, I'm fine with that. Like, just completely, like, he's a slave. He's a cog in the machine, quite literally, because he's part of a machine. That's data from the journal, projected from the journal. Recode is the closest thing we have to filler in Kingdom Hearts. The only argument for it not being filler is that at the end of Recoded, in the movie, by the way, they only added this in the movie of Recoded. They add the scene about the box, and it's kind of meant to be like, okay, Maleficent's interest in the box, in the black box, in the Book of Prophecy started around this time period. Maleficent is an interesting character. Pete's an interesting character in Recoded, but I think Recoded's story, aside from, like, it has the same appeal as, like, Dragon Ball filler or filler in an anime. Not all filler in an anime is bad. Like, I get it. You want to just know the story. You want to just know, like, the deep, meaty details about the lore you're doing. But, man, a good filler in an anime can be nice. Like, bro, I don't know. Like, in Dragon Ball, you have, like, a bunch of filler, or you have some filler in between, like, the Cell Saga, where they're just kind of hanging around. They're just kind of chilling before the tournament. You know, there's a lot of, like, fun stuff like that. In many different animes. Recode kind of feels like that. It feels like they're just doing random side quests. But I will say, Recoded's story has a amazing, and I mean amazing, ending. I have to pull this up, chat, right quick. Let me take my time. The ending of Recoded is glorious. It is peak. Like, it is absolutely peak. This ending with Naminé and Roxas before it was just so good. And I think this it kind of has a similar thing that Chain of Memories has where I don't say Chain of Memories. Let me differentiate that. Naminé's a good character in this game. The ending of this game is very good with Roxas, with this moment right here, because it perfectly leads into and kind of justifies why we rescue all the characters we do in games like Kingdom Hearts 3. I actually think this ending adds a lot to that story. Like, it's so good. Like, I don't know. Like, it was kind of tugging on my heartstrings quite a bit here. It's like all these characters are waiting for Sora. This whole game was basically just to teach Sora things that we already kind of figured. Like, yeah, Yeah, you gotta save these people, bro. You gotta save these people. But it added the why to it. Like, us viewers, we want them to be saved. We know why they need to be saved. But we need to tell Sora, why does Sora want to save these people? Why does Sora want to be like their savior? Why does Sora want to like help them? Why do they deserve help, type of thing? You know, all these terrible things that happen in their stories, all these memories that are just kind of like deep within him that he doesn't know, all these experiences that are in him from Roxas, all this hurt, understanding the hurt, confronting the hurt. They literally like get so poetic in Recoded's ending about understanding hurt. And I love that because it's one of my favorite messages in Kingdom Hearts, genuinely, and it's from Recoded. It's from Recoded because it's very relatable in life. In life, you know, you're going to have to confront some things that hurt you. You're going to have to confront other people's feelings. You're going to have to confront things that you may not always be prepared for, but you have to confront them sometimes. You have to, because you can't live your life just with all this baggage and all this pain inside. Like, you have to confront it. You have to confront it. You have to deal with it. And it's hard. It's not easy, but it honestly, nothing truly worth it ever is easy. So, I don't know. I love that message. I love that message in Recoded. You should have saved this for like 4 a.m. What do you mean I should have saved this for 4 a.m.? You want to hear me talk about Recoded at 4 a.m.? I don't know. That sounds that sounds not the best for me. I'll admit. All right. Let's continue though, chat. Let's continue. So, here's how we're going to do this. Oh. Excuse me. So here's how we're going to do this. We are going to finish a row and then look at chat. Okay? I'm going to be doing a lot of yapping. We're going to finish a row, then look at chat. C tier done, look at chat. S tier done, look at chat. That's how we're going to do this. So to add on top of Dark Road, I do think I would rather, my argument for why Dark Road is above Recoded is because I like Recoded. I like Dark Road's story more than basically anything Recoded offers. That's my argument. Yes, the gameplay, Dark Road's gameplay. Yeah. Worlds to world, I actually think Dark Road's worlds are a lot better than Recoded's, especially narratively. Dark Road narratively surprisingly has some of the most important or relevant worlds I feel like in the series. Like, I'm sitting here watching Dark Road and thinking to myself, okay, they're talking about the upperclassmen and, you know, where they're at. They're talking about, you know, potentially contacting them through the underworld and stuff. And Kingdom Hearts does stuff like that often, where it's like, okay, let's use this world to talk to this character, use this world to do this thing that's canon to the story. It doesn't always happen. Kingdom Hearts, like, you know, it pretends, it baits you. It pretends it's going to use the Disney World for something crazy important, and doesn't always do it. Sometimes it does, doesn't always do it. I thought this was going to be like a bait and switch situation. Like, okay, we're going to talk about doing it. Hades is going to get in the way. He's going to fight us. He's going to do this and that. But, nah. Multiple important story events happen in Dark Road's Disney World, especially Dark Road Olympus. In Dark Road Olympus, not only do they actually use the underworld to talk to the upperclassmen, which is mind-boggling. Like, what? You can do that in Kingdom Hearts? Hello? Excuse me? And two, they also revealed that Bragi was Brig. It was... Looking back at it, maybe it was obvious, but like at the time, okay, we were used to being tricked by Nomura a lot. So, yeah. Also, freaking Ericus, Xehanort just casually revealing that they read the Book of Prophecies, that the book, like, that was a big question back in the day. Do these other Keyblade wielders know about the Book of Prophecies? Modern day Guardians of Light, they haven't read it. They don't know about the Book of Prophecies, not that we know of. Maybe Yen Sid, possibly. I don't think it's common knowledge what's in the Book of Prophecies in modern day Kingdom Hearts characters. But apparently in Dark Road, everyone read the junk, so it implies a lot of information that Xehanort and others had that could just affect the whole story, you know? Now, let's talk about Recoded's gameplay. The gameplay is good. The gameplay for Recoded is good. It's not bad, but it's good in a vacuum to me. There are some highlight fights. There's things like Anti-Sora. I think Dark Riku has a really good boss fight in Hollow Bastion. But I think with Recoded, for me, with Kingdom Hearts gameplay, and this is how I look at gameplay. If you don't look at gameplay this way, that's perfectly fine. But for me, I look at Kingdom Hearts gameplay as in how does the game ask me to use like some of these options? Are they fun to use? They feel good to use? And are the fights in the game fun enough to use these things on? And for Recoded, the answer a lot of the time is kind of no. Like, the gameplay is fun in a vacuum, and you have like such a good command deck system. Everyone says Recoded has the best command deck in the series, you know, and it's like the best non-number title gameplay wise. And I feel like that's a take to have. Like, it's a fine take to have. I don't know if I agree with it though, because we're gonna get down the list later, or go up on the list later. But I would rather play Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop Distance than Recoded any day. Like, even gameplay wise, and it's purely just because like it's the game, everything the game offers makes the gameplay more fun, I guess. I know it's not like as objective or as like crazy of a reasoning, but it's like I like Birth by Sleep more, I like Aqua more, I like Terra more, Ventus more, so I'm having more fun using things like Windblade, using things like Spellweaver. It's more fun to do sleep loops on Vanitas than it can be to like do combo cancels and stuff in Recoded, because it's like, what am I doing all this for? Because I'm doing it on a large body. Like, I'm not. It's only so fun doing that stuff on those enemies. And this opinion may change with the replay through, but I just have. I have very bitter feelings towards Recoded, so it's hard to rank it above some of these other games. The worlds in Recoded I also think are terrible. I think they're bad. What's the use of all this crazy combat mechanics, the Keyblade leveling, all this stuff, when almost every single Disney World boss is some sort of gimmick fight that takes away a lot of your abilities or changes them? This might be more fun for me on a replay through. Maybe I'll have more fun with it. I'll enjoy it more. But on a first playthrough, it wasn't fun for me at all. Because I'm thinking like, okay, I'm so excited to be able to fight Guard Armor, or fight Trickmaster, or fight some of these other bosses with all my abilities, with my sliding dash and crazy combo cancels into Judgment, or whatever other abilities I have going on, right? Or these cool Keyblade finishers and whatnot. Like, it's really cool stuff, but Guard Armor is a side-scroller. Trickmaster is on rails. Jafar is a platformer boss fight. Like, what is going on here? Even Roxas, the final boss in the game, while interesting, I didn't really enjoy it. Because, like, every time Roxas hits you, you're getting hit with status effects and stuff. And it's like, on replay through, on labbing the game, it might be a lot more fun. But it just kind of feels like it has so many interesting ideas, but doesn't always use them. And that's my argument against Recoded Combat. Even though I completely understand the desire to praise this game and talk about what it does do right, because of how often people put this as one of the lower tiered KH games. But I gotta say, like, I do think it's kind of deserved. This game is definitely a weaker point for Kingdom Hearts, both world-wise, gameplay-wise, and I don't know, story-wise too, right? It just leaves a lot to be desired. So, let me recap. Well, what are your guys' takes on my takes? I guess. Where are you guys at with that? Let me drink some water. And what's good, Eros? What's good, Matthew, Talvis, Mars? I own all the KH games, but the first one bored me, so I never continued it. Really? I never got past Alice World on KH1. Never went back to any KH game. That's unfortunate. I want to play the Melon Mix of the games. I do too. I really do want to play Melon Mix. Things like Melon Mix might make things like Recoded feel way better upon revisiting. I've done one file of each Days in Recoded 15 plus years ago. I'll play through another game after Liza P, and then I'll do the Days Melon Mix. As possibly the only Recoded enjoyer in this chat, I agree with everything you said. I mean, like, if for you, if the command deck and that the fun stuff in the combat of Recoded puts it like higher up for you, by all be it, like, that's fine. Because if I had to rate where D tier is on a Kingdom Hearts game scale, because I love Kingdom Hearts games, right? There's no F tier, there's no this game is so garbage, I want to just like throw it in the fire type of game. I love all these KH games. So Recoded is probably the lowest point, and that's the closest to a Kingdom Hearts game I would probably say for me is just maybe bad. But I don't even think it is. Like, I would probably rate Recoded like a 6 out of 10. Maybe a 5, but that's where Dark or Recoded are. All right, so let's move on to the C tier. So C tier is going to be pretty interesting. Where do I start with this? Where do I start? Where do I start? Okay. I think this is gonna be pretty fitting for C tier. As much as I am reluctant to put this game below it, I'm gonna put Melody of Memory at the bottom of C tier. And the reason I'm going to do that is because Melody of Memory, while I really enjoy the game, it is one of my most replayed Kingdom Hearts games, as it should be. It's a rhythm game that wants you to replay it. I feel like as a rhythm game for Kingdom Hearts, it does leave a lot to be desired. They went really hard with the gameplay, and they went really hard with like the concepts, the different types of rhythm games you do. They didn't go a very generic approach with it. They could have went a more theater rhythm style approach to the gameplay, which I think people might have liked and might have even liked better, to debatably, right? But Melody of Memory took a action rhythm game approach, which is I've never heard of that, where they made a rhythm game that, as odd as it sounds, actually does feel like a regular Kingdom Hearts game. I mean, you're attacking with X, you're reacting to like, orbs and interacting with objects with triangle. You glide by jumping with circle and holding circle. It's surprising that they actually made a rhythm game that feels like Kingdom Hearts on rails. It's pretty fun. And some of the hard songs are really fun to learn and practice and do. And I love that they did online. I love the trick system. I think it's fun and enjoyable. And I have some of my fondest memories when Melody of Memory first came out, and we were playing with people like Critic Perfect in the chat, people like The Frozen Cavern, Limit Form, 13th Vessel, etc., fighting all these creators in Melody of Memory, and we were just having a blast. The biggest issue I have with Melody of Memory, which has been adjusted on PC, but even on PC, it's only on Epic Game Store. Like, bro, come on, put it on Steam. Like, why'd Melody of Memory get kind of like, why did Melody of Memory get left out there? For what? Probably just because of low sales. But I really wish this game had more songs, more KH3 songs, and an invite button. This game came out in late 2020, but was being developed for a while before Kingdom Hearts 3. I think I would have been okay because we already got Remind in 2020. If they had taken an extra year, released Melody of Memory in 2021, maybe, along with the Steam releases or Epic Games releases and whatnot, I think it would have went a long way if they took that extra year on the game, extra couple months to polish things like online, add an invite button so that when the game does die, because I don't know why you're expecting your Kingdom Hearts rhythm game to have the most active online community or something. Add an invite button so people can play with each other directly long term for when your game dies, right? Because it's going to happen to all online games. For all online games, there will be a day where your game doesn't have as many players as it did month 1, month 2, year 1. And Melody of Memory, for a caged rhythm game. Of course, it only had a active online for a couple of months, really. So it's unfortunate, but I really wish the game had an invite button. Really could have used more songs. How is it possible that a Kingdom Hearts rhythm game, mind you, a game about the music of Kingdom Hearts, doesn't have Dearly Beloved playable? Excuse me? What? How? I don't know. There's so many like question marks with Melody of Memory, but nonetheless, I enjoy the game, and I think it's a very enjoyable cage game. And if you like rhythm games, you should give the game a try. Buy the game when it's on sale. Try it out on Epic Games. Try it out on whatever console you have. It's a solid game. Now, above Melody of Memory, on being thematic here, another memory game, Chain of Memories. I was debating if I wanted to put Melody of Memory above Chain of Memories, because admittedly, while I enjoy Chain of Memories and I don't have like a crazy amount of criticisms about the game, I do think it's not a great cage game to replay. What I mean by this is, with Chain of Memories, this is what some people like about the game. I love high level, in depth Kingdom Hearts combat. But Chain of Memories is a game where you have to be very intentional about literally everything you do, at worst. But at best, the game kind of becomes this weird. It's a little mashy. Like, it's weird. Chain of Memories is one of the hardest Kingdom Hearts games for casuals. But if you know, like, if you understand and dive deep into the card system, you kind of start to realize, well, it's a interesting game design. I don't necessarily think it was the best thought out in terms of like how you interact with enemies, because slights completely break this game. It's insane. I don't know if the OG works this way, but slights break this game in freaking half, dude. And things like enemy cards, like things like Jafar card, Maleficent card, attack break. I don't know. Like there's so many different types of cards in this game that give you abilities. Attack Racer, got Second Chance. Like the further you get into Chain of Memories, the more broken that game becomes. Like the more kind of brain off the game can end up being. This game is very fun. I think Chain of Memories is very fun. It's fun to do. It's really fun to do a playthrough every like couple of years. It is not a game that I can hop on and replay constantly, and that's probably not what it's meant for, right? I love the unique abilities in the game. I love so many. I love like the combinations and the creativity you can have with card slates and enemy cards, and like just how you go about like combos and mob fights, bosses. Like it's cool, and I like how customizable the worlds kind of are with the room cards, because every playthrough can be different. I think the story is probably the best thing about this game. The story and general aesthetic. Castle Oblivion is a wonderful, like kind of like very eerie but weirdly beautiful sort of place. Like the music is very good. Marluxia's a really interesting villain. The whole dynamic going on with them betraying the organization is very interesting. Like, bro, at this point in the story, you don't even know what the organization is. What's the organization doing? We're already talking about betraying the organization. We haven't even met the real organization yet. It's kind of wild. So like the internal politics going on in Chain of Memories is genuinely very fun and very interesting. I don't know. I also think that Sora in Chain of Memories is debatably at one of his best. Like a lot of people really love Sora in Chain of Memories. Sora and Naminé's dynamic, I think, is beautiful. It is a really good dynamic. Like they have, I would go out of my way to say Sora and Naminé have a stronger like dynamic and like kind of interaction than Sora does with Kairi. But at the same time, Sora like Naminé's interactions with Sora like heavily benefit the Kairi and Sora dynamic too. It's this weird like thing where they're using another character to kind of enhance the dynamic of two others, and I absolutely love that. The story for Rechain is really good, really good, very enjoyable. A lot of people skip this Kingdom Hearts game because it's so jarring to play after Kingdom Hearts 1. And I totally get it. Like, I can't blame people for wanting to maybe skip this game. I genuinely don't. I don't blame them at all. It kind of makes sense, to be honest. Uh, a lot of people prefer to just watch the story of Chain of Memories, and I think at least do that. Like, I would like it if you played the game. I think it's a good game. I think the card system's fun. I just think it's not like it's not better than most Kingdom Hearts combat systems. Um, I mean, I said the thing about Recoded. I'll actually retract my statement. I think I might rather play Recoded. I might rather play Recoded's combat than Chain of Memories combat. I think Recode definitely has better combat than Chain of Memories, but I enjoy Chain of Memories worlds and story more. Chain of Memories is a good game, and then not to mention Riku's side of the story. Riku's story in this game is very good. A really good follow up to Kingdom Hearts 1 that sets them up perfectly for games like Days and Kingdom Hearts 2. Puts them in contact with Diz and Mickey and whatnot. It's a very, very, very good game. Establishes like the close connection that Riku and Mickey would have throughout the entire series. It's really good. It's really good. So moving on to B tier. Do you guys have any? I don't know. I'm gonna wait to see if you guys have any like feelings, thoughts about that one. Do you guys? So how do you guys feel about the tier list so far? Chain of Memories, which version I've played? I've only played PS and GBA. KH2, KH1, KH2 were the worst games in the franchise. Nice. Nice. I want. Wait. The weird thing about Slice and Recon is that all the other options are actually really good, but you still end up spamming the same thing around mid-game, and it's really unfortunate. Yeah, like, as good as the Slights are in Rechain of Memories and how creative they can be, spamming fire is broken. Spamming a fire with the zero card mixed in there every once in a while, completely broken. Items, also completely broken. Like, I think of Chain of Memories, weirdly enough, I weirdly enough with Chain of Memories, I actually think if the game was more restrictive, it would be more engaging for like a person replaying it, for a person who does know about like the sites and the items and the attack cards and stuff. But that would also make the game significantly worse and less enjoyable for the people that don't know about those things. Because most people first play through Chain of Memories, they don't know fire's broken. They don't know fire's doing half a bar every time. They don't know that like some of these item cards completely reload your entire deck. They don't know that attack bracer, enemy cards, all that stuff completely broken. They don't experiment as much because a lot of people in Kingdom Hearts, because every other action game teaches you that you can do this. Run up, spam X, auto combo, mash, do fire, cure if I get a hit, arrow, maybe use a potion here and there, right? Like that's what most people do when they play Kingdom Hearts. So Chain of Memories asking you to pay attention to when the boss is interacting with you and what card they're doing, to look at the top of the screen for half the game, is very jarring for most Kingdom Hearts fans. And I totally understand why. I totally understand why. Yo, what's good, Majub? What's poppin'? 2FM and Calm at the top for me, alongside BBS and Days. I respect that. We got like there's a lot of Chain of Memories enjoyers. Like Chain of Memories might have just as many, if not more, enjoyers than Recoded. Because depending on like the types of games you grew up with, Chain of Memories could be one of your favorites. Not only because of its story, because it has a really, really good story, man. But also just because, the card system might be very creative and fun for you. Like I can see someone who predominantly plays turn-based games, for example, like if RPGs are like a big thing for you, more traditional RPGs, you might have a lot of fun with Chain of Memories, because that's something you're used to doing in combat. You're used to looking at what your opponent's about to do. So it kind of has this weird turn-based style approach to it. All right. I'm gonna take a sip of water here. So we still have a lot of Kingdom Hearts games left, and I actually think we're already done with the C tier. I don't think I'd put anything else on this list in C tier specifically. So we're about to get to some different parts of the tier list. So far, these are games I haven't played. D tier, I'd say D tier games are around like a 6 out of 10. C tier games, I would give like a strong 7, maybe even an 8, maybe even, because I like them that much. So like, let's say a strong 7 for C tier, strong 7 for C tier. B tier, I'm gonna put. I'm not ranking key back cover. I'm not gonna put that there. What do I start this with? You know, I'm gonna keep it my opinions right now. This is why I didn't replay the games before this, because I want to have a foundation of how I felt before. So if anyone new to the channel, anyone getting into Kingdom Hearts, maybe if we get a Kingdom Hearts 4 announcement this year, and maybe people want to go back and look at some of my general Kingdom Hearts opinions, these are where my opinions were at the start of this year, and I think this kind of represents my opinions over the past couple of years as well. And then we'll do replay throughs and update throughout the year. So I'm going to start B tier by putting these two here. Days and Union Cross. Days has gone up for me. I actually used to have Days a lot lower on the tier list for a while. And it's because on the DS, I wasn't that fond of the game. I thought it was debatably one of the worst Kingdom Hearts games. But as time has gone on, and with things like Melon Mix, which I don't know, y'all can have the discussion. So like we can evolve this over time if you guys want to count Melon Mix or not. But if we're not counting Melon Mix, I think future people who get into Days, like, it's going to be very rare for people to play it on the DS, I think, in the future. So most people who are looking to play the original Days are probably going to end up playing Melon Mix, right? That's how I feel. And when it comes to that, I think Days has been rising up there, man. I haven't even played Melon Mix yet myself. The last time I played Days was on an emulator. I think it was Dasume. I played it on an emulator. It was live on stream, and I played it with the PS4 controller for the first time. Night and day experience. Days on a controller, it kind of just feels like KH2. Like, straight up, it kind of just feels like KH2. It's like a lower budget version of the second number title. I love it for that. Days movement is really fun. Like, I replayed Days in 2021, same year I did Recoded, and I basically had the complete opposite opinion that I had before. I used to think Days combat was kind of mid, kind of weak, and now I'm like, okay, Rox's combos feel really good. These Keyblades feel really good. That second playthrough of Days really put the game on the map for me, because compared to my first playthrough of Days when I was a lot younger, I'm real. I was kind of dumb. I didn't know what I was doing with this panel system, man. I didn't spend a lot of time organizing my panel system. And it also kind of wasn't fun for me. Some of these Days missions felt a lot more monotonous and felt very repetitive and kind of boring sometimes. You know, the story's good. Days, depending on who you talk to, there's a lot of people, a very strong audience in the KH fandom who thinks Days might have the best story in Kingdom Hearts. Shoot, shout out to a fellow creator. There's a creator in the community named Keys, and they're a fellow Kingdom Hearts creator, but they predominantly talk about Days, because Days is like their identity. They love Days that much. Days is so good, and there's so many fans like that. Days almost feels like the hidden gem in the Kingdom Hearts fandom. And it especially feels that way now because so many people watch the movie. So many people watch the movie of Days and love that story. They love Roxas. They love Axel. They love Xion. They love the Days trio. They love the aesthetic of the organization the world never was. Like, Days almost feels like... It almost feels like a alternative story to KH2. I don't know if that's the right word, but it complements KH2 so freaking well, because when you play KH2 and you get into Rox's story for the first time, you're very curious. Like, there's so much mystery surrounding Roxas, Axel, and their relationship and the organization, and then you add this third character into the mix in Days with Xion, and Xion, like, kind of is like a glue to their entire friendship to a degree, because when Axel's gone, Roxas is interacting with Shion and bonding with Shion, and while Axel knows the truth, he's also seeing like all this messed up stuff going on. He's divided, where he's kind of becoming content with his life in the organization. He's becoming content with some of the bad things he's doing. He's becoming content with just, doing his thing and then hanging out with Roxas and Shion. Like it's become a new life to him, to where he's almost fine with the way things are. But while Axel is content, Roxas and Shion are suffering, dude. They're kind of suffering, especially Shion, and it starts to drive them apart. It starts to make the dynamic very weird. It's so good. Yo, MNO, what's up? Hello, we got French viewers watching. What's good? It's crazy to me, dude, how good Day's story is. It's crazy, and I love that it takes its time. For some people, that is a flack on the game. The game itself can be repetitive. It takes its time, but because it takes its time, because after every mission you're bonding with Roxas, Axel, and Shion, sometimes just Roxas, sometimes just Axel, sometimes just with Shion, it's beautiful. And the game has so many different missions and replayability that is all lost, that no one gets to experience anymore unless they do things like Melon Mix in no official capacity, because most people are just going to watch the movie. Days has multiplayer missions. The hollow missions are beautiful, man. Like, there's so much stuff you could do with the panel system and the keyblades. This game is an absolute gem. And I say all this praise, why is it in B tier? Those are the pros for Days. Those are the pros for Days. Very high highs. Let's talk about some of the lows. So Days, I think, where it struggles gameplay-wise, the gameplay feels so good. I compared it to handheld KH2 earlier. That's what it feels like. Days has one of the best feeling air dashes in Kingdom Hearts freaking period, bro. The air dash feels amazing. Where it kind of struggles combat-wise, in my opinion, is imagine Kingdom Hearts 2 combat, Kingdom Hearts 2 level combos, combat feel with Dream Drop Distance bosses. Like, honestly worse. I would actually say worse than that. Days bosses don't do anything. They are literally like the lowest budget boss fights ever. There's like 2 bosses in the game that I think are kind of fun. The Shion final boss is very good, and I think this might be a surprise to you. Leech Grave, I actually think, is a good boss fight. That Leech Grave back in the day, man, back when we were in a community where most people played Days. Most people in the fandom played Days, knew about Days. Nowadays in the fandom, most people only know the HD collection. They only know the movie. So it's different times nowadays, man. But Leech Grave used to be notoriously one of the worst bosses in Kingdom Hearts to many people. Leech Grave, Ruler of the Sky. And I played these bosses on replay through, and admittedly, I had prep time. Days' prep time is crazy. Me personally, I love that in games. I love prep time. I love going into menus and setting things up. I don't like it when it's most of the game, but before every mission, it's kind of fun to mess around, play Tetris with the panel system, figuring out new combinations to open up like different paths and different like stat buffs and stuff. It's kind of cool. It's kind of fun, but I think the majority of Days' bosses are just kind of boring. You could tell some of these bosses are way better and just more enjoyable probably if you're playing them MMO style. But I think the issue is that most people's first playthrough of Days is going to be single player. Like, they're not going to do these missions multiplayer every single time. So these bosses are just kind of damage sponges. And not everyone hates damage sponge bosses, but when we look at how like highly exalted bosses in Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, 3, you think of like Sephiroth, you think of Yozora, you think of Data Shion, Data Marluxia, Data Xehanort, you think of all these like really crazy boss fights, and it's because the bosses actually engage with you in an interesting way that forces you to learn the fight, especially on higher difficulties. And then you go to a boss like Days, where the bosses in Days are just straight up damage sponges. They don't really interact with you. Now, maybe this is something that could change on another playthrough for me, and maybe my opinion can adjust and improve. But off of like first opinions, or I guess second opinions for my second playthrough of Days, off of my opinions, like right now, Days' bosses just kind of weak, and it makes the combat feel very lackluster. It's almost a similar thing Recoded has, but I think Days just has a better everything else. Like, worlds are better, the mission system I think is better, and I think the story is really strong. So Days is put in B tier for its very, very strong story and very, very good feel of gameplay and having lots of content. I haven't played Melon Mix yet, so I'm excited to, when I play Melon Mix, to see how like everything merged into one screen finally feels, and maybe the game might feel even a little bit better polished with that. But Days is a very good game. Days is a very, very good game. I think if you haven't played it, everyone in the Cage community should play it at least once. If you want to watch the movie first, that's fine, but I do think you're missing out on a lot of story and a lot of character development for characters like Shion, Roxas, and Axel if you only play the movie or only watch the movie. Even for other organization characters, you can talk to organization characters in between missions every time and get their thoughts on like the latest thing or what they're doing today or just what's going on, you know? Like there's a lot of discussion like in Days has a lot of heart put into it, and I love that. The narrative's beautiful. Yo, what's good, Mangled Bobcat? What's good, Dula? What's good, Dun Street Rat? I gotta say something. I swear I don't want to sound like I'm hating. I don't got a single Cage game even near any of the numbered titles. Oh my gosh. You know what? There are a lot of people in the Kingdom Hearts fandom that way, and I kind of get it, but also like because I'm almost the same way. But I wouldn't say not close. Like, I wouldn't say it in a, you said you don't want to sound like you're hating. I would say a similar thing, to be honest, but I don't feel like I'm a hater either. Because you see how much I can praise these games. But the number titles definitely, we'll get to them. We'll get to the number titles. We're going to get to it. Because I wrote a lot of notes for especially the number titles, man. So we have another game in B tier as well. We have Union Cross. Let's talk about Union Cross. So, Union Cross, I genuinely think, let's say this game got a good quality remake. Not a movie, not just... Okay, let me put it like this. If Union Cross was able to get a HD movie, good budget, decent budget, like a back cover, and they were able to hit all the story notes in Union Cross, fine. I would put it in A tier. I'd probably put it in A tier just off of the story alone. Maybe S, right? Now, if Union Cross, let's say like best case scenario, this isn't going to happen. Best case scenario, you gave this mobile game story like Cage 2 or Cage 3 or shoot, even 0.2 level combat for like a good 10 to 15 hour game, however long they make it, brother, that might be the game that competes with like some of the best. Union Cross's story is so freaking good, bro. How is that story that good? How is that story that freaking good, bro? How did they do that? How did they write that? Why was I so immersed into this story? This story was an obsession for me. Pre-Cage 3, post-Cage 3, when it ended, when Dark Road came out. I'm still obsessed with it now. Most of the theories, most of the modern day Kingdom Hearts theories, speculation, lore, comes from two things. Remind, Union Cross. It's all from that. And the only thing Remind really gives speculation-wise is mainly Yozora. Everything else, Union Cross, Key Saga, the Master of Masters, the Foretellers, the Box, Lushu's Twist. Like, Union Cross can do so much for this story and push Kingdom Hearts' story to that next freaking level. Like, and I'm just waiting. This game is a big reason why the Kingdom Hearts 4 wait is so hard, man. It's one of the biggest reasons why the wait for this game is so rough, because the story is so good in this mobile game, and it got deleted. The game's gone. It's delisted. It's gone. You can only watch it on YouTube. That's just the story. This story is, if it, I hate to say it, if it wasn't a mobile game, but like, it genuinely, people underestimate how much music, visuals, and things like that can matter. Because I'm not a graphics is everything type of person, but I do think like a already good narrative can only be improved with like higher fidelity graphics, with like more, effort and like music put behind it, not freaking chibi bobblehead art style, bro. Like, I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. Like, imagine if KH2's ending was done in Union Cross's art style. It'd be completely different. You cannot sit here and tell me it wouldn't be different. So that is why Union Cross needs to not be in the mobile art style. That's why the story, Kingdom Hearts stories, need to not be in that style, because when you make a story that freaking good, it needs to be like, I want it to be at its best. I want it to be at its best. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Now let's talk about the gameplay when when it existed. I actually think Union Cross's gameplay wasn't that bad. I liked it. Now, last 2 years of Union Cross was pretty bad. Like the power creep got to Union Cross really badly. Like, I legit think there were enemies in Union Cross that had health bars in the hundreds of thousands, maybe millions, and you had medals doing damage that was worth millions of health bars. It was kind of wild. Like, that power creep, that is some of the worst power creeping I have ever seen in a gacha game. Like, just period. Like, it was kind of mind numbing. Like to be honest, it was kind of mind numbing. The Wreck-It Ralph world was cool. The worlds in Union Cross were cool. The art style was good for a mobile game, but I do think it just needs to be remastered. If a not canon Kingdom Hearts game had that art style, I'd be fine. But because it's canon, it shouldn't have. It should have been whatever. We could talk about could have, should have, would have all day long. But what should happen is it should get a remake, or at least a movie. But it should get a full gameplay remake. Union Cross's gameplay was not that bad. I actually thought it was pretty fun. I thought it was very, very enjoyable, especially for its first couple of years. I think the medal system was fun. I think the gacha system, gacha systems it's a gacha system. You know what I mean? Like, it's not much to say, critique. You know what to expect, right? I found raids and the online stuff kind of fun, but it wasn't explored as heavily as I think it could have been. The Coliseum stuff was really crazy. That was definitely for the whales, for the sweats. But I thought the gameplay wasn't that bad. I think the greatest thing about Union Cross was the community it offered. Union Cross's community was beautiful, man. Union Cross fans, we don't argue with each other. We don't complain. We're just vibing. We do complain about the game not having a movie, or not having not being in a modern Kingdom Hearts art style, but Key Saga fans are so chill, bruh. Like, Key Saga had some of the chillest KH fans, because it was just pure, talking about theories and just, it was just pure theory crafting and vibes. It was all theory crafting and vibes with the Union Cross fandom. Now, you get into, KH2, KH1, KH3, elitist type stuff, and, we're arguing. We're yelling at each other. We're debating about, is KH2 better? Is KH3 better? Is KH1 better? We're debating. But, especially at that time, Union Cross fans was like, yo, bro, you see that new story update? Yeah, bro, that was crazy. Charlitzia, blah, 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 Venventus, blah, blah, blah. It was just pure theories. The Master of Masters is Lucio. You saw that. The ending, the finale of Union Cross was genuinely one of the best Kingdom Hearts experiences I have ever had, period. And I've been doing Kingdom Hearts content creation for a long time, and my one of my highest viewed live streams, still to this day, was not a KH3 Remind stream when that came out. It wasn't a KH3 stream. It it I don't even think it was the KH4 like reveal. It was the Union Cross ending reaction. That was one of my most viewed live streams ever. Still to this day. It's absolutely crazy. That community was wild. That's kind of all I have to say about Union Cross. It's B tier. Why is it above Days? I think Union Cross's story, surprisingly, I think it might be better than Days. And the overall experience that I had with Union Cross is it's hard for me to rank it low. Like, it's hard for me to rank it low. I don't have as much of that experience with Dark Road because Dark Road kind of came and went. But Union Cross was a whole near decade of, or half a decade of, like, story experiences, community experiences that was just so special. So like I can't put this game any lower than B tier. And you know, depending on the day, it might even be higher than this. So, chat, what do we think about the B tier? Not gonna lie, Roxas gonna beat Goku. Maybe. Bro, Terrence, do you like Kingdom Hearts? I have a question. Do you like Kingdom Hearts? No, chat, I have a question. Is only liking Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3 tourism? Is it? This is a serious question. Is only enjoying Cage 1, 2, and 3 tourism? Or even worse, is only enjoying Cage 2 and 1 tourism? It might be low-key. Sora and Riku rushing to Kairi to get tackled by Chibi, Dawn, and Goofy. Bro, imagine that. That would be gross. That would be so gross. If the Cage series ended today and Sora never returns, how would you feel about the story in its current state? I'd still say it's one of my favorite stories of all time. 100%. It will definitely have like a. It would definitely have kind of like a sour spot on it though if it just ended right now, right? All right, so let's move on to the A tier chat. All right, A tier. You can kind of guess what's going in A tier. We don't have too many games left. A tier is actually where it gets kind of hard for me. Because the order specifically, the order of A tier is where it gets a little hard. So we're going to put all of these in A tier, and then we're going to talk about them one by one. I don't know why they have, well, whatever. So we're going to put, yeah, okay. I might do that right now. Yeah. All right. So this is my A tier. This is my A tier. This is my A tier. All right. Dream Drop Distance is at the bottom of A tier. And there is some shifting here based on my current opinions. I do think these are my current takes. But they all can be swapped around for different reasons. So these 3 games, Birth by Sleep, 0.2, Dream Drop Distance, are so close to each other. You might be surprised that a 3-hour game in 0.2 is this close to 2 full-length like games in Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop. But look at that as well. So let's talk about Dream Drop first. Dream Drop Distance, it's gone down for me, I must admit. I love this game. It's gone down on the list, I think. I'm trying to figure out how to word things here. I'll admit I did not write notes for A tier. I don't know if it's that Dream Drop went down or if it's that other games went up. Birth by Sleep is a game that over the past couple of years has gone up for me every time. Like Birth by Sleep, I love this game. I always loved it, but it's like, you ever get that feeling when you play a game you already like and then you find like more reasons to like it? That's me with Birth by Sleep. So, Dream Drop, Birth by Sleep, depending on the year in the 2010s, both of those titles could easily have been swapped around. Because Dream Drop Distance's worlds, I think, are a lot better than Birth by Sleep's worlds. I think 0.2's combat is better than both Dream Drop and Birth by Sleep's, probably. I think 0.2's worlds are probably better than both as well, to a degree. They're better in a different way though. I think the story of Birth by Sleep. Oh, I don't know about that actually. I honestly don't know which game story I like more. I genuinely don't. It's kind of hard. It depends on the day too. These games are close. These games are just close to each other. It's just they're just very close. So Dream Drop mostly went down. If I had to pick one reason for why Dream Drop Distance went down for me, it'd have to be the combat. I think Dream Drop Distance combat is not the worst thing in the world. It's very fun and it can kind of be a guilty pleasure. And I actually think like hitting enemies or like, well, let's put it this way, the impact and sound effects on hitting enemies, moving, yada yada, feels better than Birth by Sleep. Zero Distance has flow motion. Zero Distance has like reality shift, which is really fun, really cool way of interacting with the world and interacting with the level design. But the boss fights of Dream Drop Distance are not the best. I think Dream Drop Distance is up there for some of the worst bosses in the series. Despite that, though, the rest of the game is so good that it's still pretty far above a lot of other KH games to me. That might even have debatably, well, I don't know actually. Does Days have better bosses than Dream Drop? Nah. Chain Memories, maybe, I don't know. Coded, definitely not. I think the positives of Dream Drop Distance, they're very, very strong positives. It's a very colorful Kingdom Hearts game, and the world's added verticality when Kingdom Hearts previously didn't have much of that. Like, the closest thing to a lot of verticality we saw in previous KH games was maybe KH1, but even then, there wasn't that much of it. Kingdom Hearts 1's level design was very good in terms of, like, puzzles and kind of just interacting with, like, obscure objects and stuff like that. But Dream Drop Distance, the verticality and, like, the worlds are largely like big open rooms, and they have to be that way because of flow motion, because flow motion isn't as fun in like these in tight corridors, right? But the worlds are actually surprisingly interactive when it comes to things like reality shift, and it has this charm. You know, this has very charming worlds and has a lot of obscure Disney World picks that became a lot of people's favorites, because I don't think in like a number title or in some of these other Kingdom Hearts games we're seeing a world like Hunchback. I don't think in some number tiles or some of these other games you're seeing a world like Three Musketeers even. Despite how iconic some of these films are, they're not like the big giant box office attractions like the Frozens, the Lion Kings, Aladdin, the Beauty and the Beast. You know, like the more highly exalted Disney films. That number tiles typically go towards. So Dream Drop Distance has a very charming world selection that I think is so unique. Symphony of Sorcery is easily one of the best worlds in the Kingdom Hearts franchise. I don't know. I just don't know how to like describe it better. It's one of the best worlds in the KH franchise. It's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly why, but I guess I would say mostly because of the visuals. Visuals of that world are great. The vibe, aesthetic, like it's a very fun world to be in. Though the Dream Eaters in that world are definitely kind of cheating, but still, the world of Dream Drop Distance are very strong. I want to give another playthrough to Dream Drop because I think the bosses might not be as bad as I thought they were. People like Usagi, who we reacted to on the channel, who's a like known Dream Drop player in the community, they have been making me look at Dream Drop Distance bosses in a different way. I don't think they're anything like some of the better Kingdom Hearts games boss fights, like the humanoid fights and number titles, but they might not be as bad. They might not be as, like, brain off as I thought they were. I think Dream Drop Distance has a big problem of, like, kaiju enemies, kaiju heartless. I like kaiju heartless every once in a while. You know, it's a big staple in the series to have a giant heartless fight to beat a strong enemy, beat a big, strong enemy. But I think Dream Drop Distance kind of does it a little too much. The end game is mostly humanoid fights with Anti-Black Coat Nightmare, Xemnas, Ansem, and these are all really good fights. I think these fights are very enjoyable and are some of the most enjoyable fights in the game, period. You even have fun bosses like the Beagle Boys and Pete in Three Musketeers, which I think is really good. But then you have like these really giant, like more cinematic kind of boss fights that are asking you on the original 3DS version, at least, to interact a lot more with your second screen or do reality shift and stuff like that, which is they're fun. They're not bad bosses. Like I enjoy Hoko Monkey. I think the little bird that like is running away constantly, I forget its name sometimes, Pelican. I think that boss can be very annoying, very aggravating, but it can also be cool to potentially try and do like zero gravity stuff and do stagger loops on it. Julius, I think, isn't as bad of a boss as I used to think. Julius, back in the day, used to be one of the worst bosses in the Kingdom Hearts series, and I still think today I might rate him as so, but Julius doesn't look... Like, I've been looking at other players fight Julius and do tech on Julius, and it doesn't look that bad. It might not be as bad as I thought it was. Resistance, mostly, I think, is the lowest on here, just because of the boss fights, and the general game pacing can be a little rough. It's not that it's that much worse than Birth by Sleep or 0.2. It's that 0.2 and Birth by Sleep are just they do some things better, or they have more enjoyable like moments in their stories. Now, I used to replay Dream Resistance very, very often, but nowadays it's kind of not so much. So the story for Dream Resistance, I think, is very, very good. Talking more about some of the positives, I think the ending of Dream Drop Distance is absolutely one of my favorite endings in Kingdom Hearts. Dream Drop Distance's ending. Kingdom Hearts is honestly just really good with endings, period. But Dream Drop Distance's ending sequence, bro, is why I'm here today. You will not see ProdigyxCD. You will not see this Kingdom Hearts YouTuber. I would not have went. I don't know if I would have went down this path if it wasn't for Dream Drop Distance's ending. That twist at the end of every moment in the franchise was leading to this moment where Xehanort will return, this final battle, KH3. Soul had such a giant impact on everything, like on me. I loved it. I personally thought the time travel twist, I've said this a couple of times on separate live streams. I know a lot of people, when they're older, or maybe they just, I don't know, they're more critical of time travel stuff in media. They looked at time travel in Kingdom Hearts and was like, Kingdom Hearts is doing time travel. This is so confusing. This sucks. I hate this. This doesn't feel deserved. But for me, as a kid, I thought to myself, I interpreted that time travel moment as, wow, Xehanort is such a smart villain, bro figured out time travel to achieve his goals, to mess with these kids. Something I just wasn't expecting at all. I completely wasn't expecting it, and it blew me away. It absolutely blew my mind. Like, that was crazy, bro. That was crazy. I love the ending of Dream Drop Distance. I love the general story as well. I think it's pretty good. I think Dream Drop Distance kind of has the pacing people think KH3 has. as weird as it sounds. Like, I think Dream Drop Distance does do a lot to try and like lead you towards the ending, but they definitely keep the story and the mystery under wraps. Like, you're kind of curious about who this new org member, young Xehanort is. You're curious about who he is. At first, you won't know that it's young Xehanort, and then you get the twist at the end. There was a lot of interesting points in the narrative in the beginning and middle, but I think, like, I do have to admit, Dream Drop Distance probably does have Disney Worlds more than other Kingdom Hearts games that don't really have, like, there's not much to take away from them. Not that much. There's high points for sure, like when you see young Xehanort in Symphony of Sorcery, or like, you know, the scene with Tron when you see Xemnas and Ansem. They're definitely alluding to a greater purpose and plan, but it's not as in your face. They are very vague. Like, the Xehanorts the entire game spend the entire time vague posting, vague monologuing to Sora until, like, that reveal at the end with Zigbar. I'm already half Xehanort. It's so iconic, like, and it was even more iconic back then, but these stories are good. The Dream Drop story is good. I think a lot of people rate this game lowly because of the story. For me, the story might be one of the best things about it. In the worlds. Worlds are good. Also, playing as Sora and Riku, like, bro, come on. Riku's story in Dream Drop Distance is peak. It's so peak, man. Dream Drop Distance, Riku's story is gas. Like, that is Riku's best story. That probably is Riku's best story narratively. Like, it's a perfect follow up to his story arc in from Days, or completes his story arc rather from Days to KH2, or Chain of Memories to KH2. Like, if you want to look at Chain of Memories as the beginning of that story arc, where he on his road to dawn path to like kind of being the gray Keyblade wielder, you could look at like Chain of Memories, Days, KH2 as like a trilogy, and then you could look at Dream Drop Distance as kind of like the epilogue, the closure to that story arc, where he's kind of come to accept who he is, accept being that Keyblade wielder who uses the light and the dark, and is so good at both, while still being virtuous. He becomes a Keyblade master, even over Sora. It's amazing. It's a great story. It's a great story. Now, 0.2. I love this game. I love it. It's a little clunky. It feels a lot worse after playing KH3. But man, I love this game. This game was such a good teaser for KH3. And I do think if KH3 opened with 0.2, that game would have been even better than it already is. But 0.2 by itself, as an isolated Aqua story, is very, very good. I think the world design in 0.2 is surprisingly strong. It's surprisingly, like, really, really good. I should be pulling up more footage. I'm like yapping so much I should pull up more footage of like the things I'm talking about. But I think the story of 0.2, the worlds are, it's crazy how much effort they put into these worlds, considering the game was so short. For a game this short, it has a crap ton of replayability. Like, it's kind of wild, dude. Because, like, look at this. Like, you're watching on screen, like, Aqua interacting with these thorns and doing flow motion stuff. And KH3 does a lot of stuff like this. But even KH3 didn't go this deep with this world design. And I think a big part of why it was so intriguing was it was a big mixture of the verticality, horizontal nature. They really used that Realm of Darkness aesthetic, and they leveled up. They really leveled up. Like, when they hit this, like, dark, grueling aesthetic for Disney World almost perfectly. It's great. It's wild. I know this footage is lagging a little bit, but you have the customization in 0.2. The combat feels really good. It feels really good. It feels really snappy. I think the air dash feels a little rough now, but I mean, it's whatever. It's okay, right? I don't know. Like, there's not much to say about this game, but it's also like the game doesn't do anything bad, really. It doesn't. The story's really good. It pushed Aqua into my top 5. I don't know where Aqua was before 0.2, but it definitely pushed her, like, higher up there. Like, look at that, bro. Like, you can ride on that vine to get this chest up here. Like, most people aren't going to get this. Like, no one cares to get this chest, but you can if you want to. I think this game has a really bad critical mode, though. That might be the biggest criticism I give this game. I think this is the only Kingdom Hearts game where the higher difficulty isn't more fun. And it's because of how restrictive they made critical mode. They cut your MP in half with, like, I don't think there's really much to do to get it higher than where it was at. You only do, like, 3 spells before losing all your MP. You also don't get to use, like, the boxes and barrels and stuff for things, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is, you know? You see all these different paths you could take here. Like, I'm going a completely different path. Like, I could go the other way, but I went down here, see if I wanted to get this chest, do these objectives. The objective system is really good, and it's something that I think should have been in KH3. The objective system is so good and adds so much replayability to the game. And I kind of think, I don't think they need to add this in base game for every Kingdom Hearts title, because I know it's probably a lot. Like, you finish the game and you're like, okay, let's go back and do objectives. But I do think it would add a crap ton of replayability and add like some extra stuff to that 100% if we did have like objective stuff or unique content via objectives in future Kingdom Hearts games. Like that's something I really want to return. The customizable stuff that I thought they were going to add into KH3 and they didn't. But I understand why in retrospect, because in KH3, throughout half of the world, Sora's in a different costume, different art style, and they would have had to make all those custom pieces in a different art style, like every single time, different graphics every single time, and that probably would have just inflated the development time by another couple of years, and we might not have gotten KH3 till 2022, 2023, I don't know. But this game's good. Bosses are good. Phantom Aqua's great, and another criticism I could give this game, though, is that, oh my gosh, bro, as good as Zodiac Aqua is as a boss fight, one of the best secret bosses in Kingdom Hearts, why do I have to go through this terrible mob fight to get to it? Like, it is actually crazy that I have to go through that mob fight every time I want to fight the boss. I think the appeal of a lot of cage secret bosses or cage bosses in general is being able to just kind of like boot it up and fight the boss whenever you want. But in 0.2, it's like, no, you want to fight this boss? No, you gotta like, you have to go through a gauntlet every time. And mob fights in 0.2 aren't really that fun. Like they're not that fun. I'm gonna be real. Aqua, she has some AOE to deal with them, but it's just it's not the greatest. Like it's not something that I wouldn't say 0.2 has great mob fights or anything, but this story is good. It's really just a character, like it's like a one shot in a manga. It's a really good character story on Aqua in the Realm of Darkness, her mental, her how she's feeling, how her mental is kind of eroding while in the darkness. You see like these visions of Terra and Ventus throughout the Enchanted Dominion world, or that version of Enchanted Dominion, which is it's wild. I don't know. Aqua in 0.2, great character. Beautiful character, man. Pushed her into my top 5. I love the ending. I love how they wrapped the story to KH1. I know people like to meme on the Mickey shirt thing, and I do think that scene is stupid. Like that scene is kind of stupid, but I get why they did it. But that scene was kind of dumb. It's dumb in retrospect because of how much people focus on it. Like people use that sometimes as a knock against 0.2 story when like the character story is so good like the entire time. It's odd. All right, so speaking of 0.2 Birth by Sleep, the infamous Volume 2 that we would end up getting, I still don't know if Volume 2 was meant to be that. I don't know. Let's talk about the OG, not the OG, but let's talk about Birth by Sleep Final Mix. Birth by Sleep is probably the best use of a handheld Kingdom Hearts game. What I mean by this is like, this is the true handheld KH game. As in, it uses all the capabilities of like the PSP and like what it was kind of good at, and it did them good. The multiplayer in Birth by Sleep, Mirage Arena in Birth by Sleep, is one of the craziest things they never did again. I think the concept for Mirage Arena, if they just took the concept of Mirage Arena and made a multiplayer Kingdom Hearts game out of it, it'd be peak. It'd be active, bro. I'm telling you, the Kingdom Hearts community would be on that. I would be on that. I'd be pushing the crap out of that game. Straight up. I would be. I'd be on it all the time. I'd love it. If it got consistent updates, I would be on it all the time. I think the 3-character story was really good and used really well in this game. Terra's story, Ventus' story, Aqua's story, all really, really good. I think Ventus has the weaker one in my opinion. Aqua and Terra having really strong stories. Terra, them kind of like using the KH2 secret ending to get us more into this story, I guess, was beautiful. Oh, you can tell I'm starting to get gassed now. Talking, I'm just saying stuff. Hold up. All right, chat. I'm back. My bad. I had to drink some water right quick. Okay, so let me clear my thoughts. Talk about Birth by Sleep. So, Birth by Sleep, I think, is a amazing game. This game is beautiful. It is absolutely. I think it's the best. It's the best non-number title for sure. It is easily the best non-number title. Not in terms of gameplay, not even in terms of worlds, even. And I even think the story is debatable, but I don't know. It's not the best at one thing in particular. I don't think it's the best at one thing in particular. I think it's just Birth by Sleep does everything pretty well, except super bosses. But I think that's the story and the vibe of this game. They just did it very, very, very well. The 3-story structure works really well for this game. It's a very easy game to hop on, replay, do a quick 6-hour session, skipping cutscenes. And you could beat a story probably even faster than that. The multiplayer, which I actually did get to play on emulator, was really, really fun. Raj Arena has so much content. Command Board is even kind of fun. Rumble Racing, things like that feel a little clunky, but it's so fun. This is just a fun game. It's a fun, satisfying Kingdom Hearts game. This game has so much tech to it as well. Like, I actually think the speedruns for this game are really interesting. You have things like air canceling. You can, like, juggle bosses like Terranort. I think the bosses in this game are kind of underrated. Mostly the base story bosses. Terranort's a pretty good boss fight. I think Terranort... I legit think Terranort... If I know I say this a lot, but Terranort might be one of the best final bosses in Kingdom Hearts. But if he just wasn't like so degenerate, bro, like bro is healing, dog is air dashing, he's blocking your attacks. If the boss wasn't so degenerate, it might be like one of the best final bosses in Kingdom Hearts. Because imagine going from Kingdom Hearts 2 and fighting Lingering Will. And you see this amazing, cool Kingdom Hearts secret ending where, like, you know, you see Lingering Will, Aqua, you see these, like, Keyblade wielders, like, these mysterious Keyblade wielders fighting this bald dude with pointy ears. It's such a cool aesthetic. And then you get to Birth by Sleep's final boss. You get to this final boss where exactly like in the Cage 2 FM secret boss, bro is sitting there, you know, sitting there in the Badlands, in the graveyard, right? Keyblade, like, in the ground. He slowly stands up, pulls his Keyblade out from the ground, just like he starts the boss in Kingdom Hearts 2, but instead of you fighting this guy, you are this guy. It is absolutely peak upon peak upon peak. Not to mention Blank Points. Blank Points is one of the best Kingdom Hearts cutscenes ever. Maybe it might be up there with the best ever. Like it there's a solid argument that it is the best cutscene in Kingdom Hearts. If I had to point to any Kingdom Hearts fan why Sora is such a good character, what Sora means to me, man, I'm pointing you to Blank Points. Blank Points is that cutscene. It'd be a while. It'd take a while for me to go through all the stories individually. But if I had to rate playing the characters, Terra and Aqua kind of alternate. But I'd say Aqua, Terra, Ventus in terms of order for like who I enjoy playing as the most. Terra's kind of a guilty pleasure there. And I think Terra might even have a better story route than Aqua does, like a more fun story route than Aqua does. But I think Aqua, having all that extra content, having like that extra final boss, or kind of having like a more, just a crazier end game with the secret ending final episode and stuff, really adds to the story. This is like one of the only Kingdom Hearts games where not only do you get a cliffhanger ending, but you get kind of like, the endings is kind of really sad. I mean, Kingdom Hearts does a lot of sad endings, right? But I don't know, like, Birth by Sleep's endings are so tragic. Like, there is nothing remotely good about them at all. Like, there's no optimism. There's nothing. Like, they're cooked. They are legit cooked till Cage 3. Um, I don't know, man. Birth by Sleep is it's such a good game, man. It's such a good game. The story's really fun. The Disney worlds are kind of empty and like kind of but they're really short. Birth by Sleep probably has some of the shortest Disney worlds in Kingdom Hearts history. Like I legit think even with cutscenes, most of the Birth by Sleep Disney worlds are like 30 minutes. It's kind of wild how short most of these worlds are, but it makes sense because they're going through them multiple times, right? I think the different story routes for the Disney worlds are very interesting. I think the character with the best Disney worlds, I ain't gonna lie. Okay, the story for all their Disney worlds are actually pretty good. I have this thing in Kingdom Hearts that I didn't even mention. I didn't even mention this with Days. I think Days also has some of the best Disney worlds in Kingdom Hearts. And Birth by Sleep has some really good Disney stories. And the reason I think I like it a lot is because it's very interesting to see characters that aren't Sora interact with other Disney worlds. Sora, you kind of know what to expect. Sora is he's going to save the day. He's going to help them out with their problem. But these other Kingdom Hearts characters don't quite take that approach. Sometimes they do, but a lot of the times these other Kingdom Hearts characters, the interactions are a lot more awkward, or some of these characters are a lot more judgmental. Some of these characters don't have that attachment. They don't have that like that, hey, I want to save the day attitude. So some of these Kingdom Hearts characters are just kind of like, hey, bro, I mean, I don't care what you're doing. You do whatever you want. Like, it's very interesting to see other Kingdom Hearts characters interact with Disney worlds because it characterizes them a lot. And it's something that I really want to see out of Kairi in a future Kingdom Hearts game. I think Kairi, if we want to develop her character, if we want to take her from where she's at now on the character tier list, which you'll see, and put her up there where she should be with like some of the main characters, you put her in some Disney worlds. Give Kairi a couple of Disney visits in the KH game and let her ball. Man, there's a lot to say about Birth by Sleep. I think the command deck system, people say Recode has the best command deck. I think Birth by Sleep actually has the best command deck. Command melding is so fun, so cool. It's a very creative part of the combat, and you can kind of like have your own. You can kind of play the game at your own pace with abilities of your choice. Really, if you're good at melding early on, you can meld like some pretty crazy things early on, like once more and second chance. Which is really freaking sick. This game rewards grinding probably more than any other Kingdom Hearts game does, because it doesn't reward you with just damage, but it rewards you by leveling up your abilities. There's a lot of things like Air Slide level 1 doesn't go as far as Air Slide level 3 or 4 or something. There's different Keyblade finishers that's really freaking cool. I like that a lot. And Kingdom Hearts 3 would be directly inspired off of form changes with Birth by Sleep's command style system, which was also inspired off of the Lingering Will boss fight. There's so many creative things this game does. The gameplay loop is just really fun. And if you want it to be, it can just be really refreshing almost every playthrough, which is something that you could say about a lot of Kingdom Hearts games, but I think this game does it like to an extra level, to an extra degree that only one other Kingdom Hearts game does better. Which, speaking of the better Kingdom Hearts games, all of these are good. So, before we get into the S tier, D tier, if you wanted to put a number to it, this number might change. My opinions change very often, and my reasons for my opinions may change very often. D tier, as of right now, as of this video, as of this stream, I give these games like a 6 out of 10. C tier, 7 out of 10. B tier, you could say is like an 8. A tier is like the strong 8s to 9 out of 10s for games. I'd probably give most of these games a 9, to be honest. S tier is like the 10 out of 10. These games are perfect. There's only 3 titles left, so you already know what it is. Boom, bop, bow. All right, let's talk about this. Oh, let me switch one out. So let's talk about this. Sorry, just taking a little sip of water there. So, I already said it, but I don't mess with BBS despite playing every version. I really, really want to love it though. Dang, that sucks. Yo, what's good, DRX? What's good, everyone who came to the stream? Hope you all are doing good. Hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. Hope you guys are enjoying the tier list. I know this VOD's going to be watched a lot, so I'm interested to see what the comments are for this one. I will probably make a video out of this as well, of course. So, Kingdom Hearts 1 Final Mix. We're going to start with that. All three of these games are my S tier. This is all ordered. This entire tier list is ordered. Believe it or not, I know there's a glaring one there that you're like, wait, how dare he? I know there's a game in here that you're looking at this and you're like, how dare he do that? So look, Kingdom Hearts is gas, and I don't care, like, I don't know. I don't care what your biases are or whatever. These three games are the trifecta of perfection to me. I love all three of them. That doesn't quite perfect to me. Doesn't mean flawless, but perfect to me means it did almost everything I wanted to do. It's like a concept, you know, like it did nearly everything I wanted to do, and it just added. It just did everything. It did everything for me. I like it a lot. I really like these games. Maybe I'm a little too loose with my definition for some of you, but hey, it's what it is. It's my tier list. All right, so let's talk about Kingdom Hearts 1. I'm going to play this ending cutscene here while I'm talking about it. Kingdom Hearts 1. This is iconic, man. People talk about this game being a remake, sometimes being aged. I think Kingdom Hearts 1 is still, to this day, one of the best games ever made. It is the perfect combination of Disney meets Final Fantasy to create something new. This ending to Kingdom Hearts 1 was the first ending in a game ever to make me cry, to make me emotional, to make me feel like to cause a real world like reaction from me beyond just like raging or blah blah blah, right? This game made me feel emotional. It made me feel attached. I was so immersed into this game, into this story. They talk about the king. You know the king is Mickey Mouse. You're waiting to see him the whole game, and like he finally shows up when you need him most. Does nothing, just kind of aura farms, but he's there. He's there with Riku. Riku's on the other side of the door with Mickey. Riku's over here like, take care of her, bro. And I'm like, no, come with us, man. Where are you going? Why are we still closing this door? What's going on? Just come out. This ending is so... it's beautiful and sad at the same time, man. Because, like, you know Riku's... Like, you also see another Keyblade. You see the other Kingdom Key. Like the alternative to Sora's Kingdom Key. You see the Kingdom Key D. I can talk about this ending all day. But let's break it down. Story, world, combat. So the story of Kingdom Hearts 1 is perfect. It's a perfect story. Straight up. Like, the story doesn't do anything bad. It doesn't. Like, there's not even compared to the other two games that are above it, I don't think this game does anything. Literally doesn't do anything story-wise bad. There might be if I really wanted to dig deep in there maybe there's a nitpick or two about something, like, in retrospect, but, like, there's nothing glaring on the top of my head that's like, this story's bad. There's nothing. Like, there's literally nothing. The Disney worlds in this game has the most involved Disney worlds with the entire plot, and that's largely due to because this is the only time in the series where the routine of going from world to world feels fresh and doesn't feel like a routine. In every other game, going to worlds is routine. It's expected. It's like, you know, the 9 to 5, the daily mission. But in Kingdom Hearts 1, you go to every Disney world and it's genuinely like Sora stepping on new ground, new territory for the first time. It's like being a kid and going to a different school every other month. It's like, bro, it's just different. Like, everything is different all the time. They take their time and let you bond with Kairi and Riku and the Destiny Island gang early on, and then you see the world collapse. And you're like, bro, why my friends, they're gone, they're missing, and like so you're relating the story right off the bat because like man, you already know this girl that he's into. He really wants to he wants to rescue. He really wants to rescue like his friends, and it's so heartfelt because of that first couple hours you spend in the game. So it makes every interaction in the Disney worlds, meeting Riku in Traverse Town, them kind of, the Disney villains kind of plotting over this Keyblade, doing all this and that. And like, later on in the series, a lot of that Disney villain stuff doesn't matter that much, right? But in Kingdom Hearts 1, it really adds to that story. It really adds to that mystique of the game, that mysterious, like, yo, what's going on? Like, these Disney worlds because you were here as a kid, but not even all of them are straight up just copies of the movie. A lot of these worlds are different stories, like different narratives. Like, yeah, you're fighting the big Disney villain that is the same Disney villain as like associated with their film, but you're what's it called? You're like, I don't know, you're fighting them because you have a goal you need to achieve. It feels like every Disney villain you take down, the closer you're getting to the big bad, Maleficent. And then you finally get to Maleficent, and it's like, wait, whoa, Maleficent's not even the big bad guy. It's Ansem, this guy in the background who would then kind of snowball into being the villain of the rest of the series. The story of Kingdom Hearts 1 is so good. I could talk about Kingdom Hearts 1 story all day. Kingdom Hearts 1 story, peak. Absolute peak upon peak upon peak. And the worlds are also peak. Let's get into the combat. The combat of Kingdom Hearts 1, as much as I love it, and as much as I honestly think it's better than pretty much every other Kingdom Hearts game, maybe minus 0.2, I think the combat of Kingdom Hearts 1 is the only reason it wouldn't be above a game like KH2 or 3. It's the only reason. Maybe not the only reason, but it's one of the main reasons it isn't above a game like Kingdom Hearts 2 or 3. The combat of Kingdom Hearts 1 is very good, but it is the first game. It is the first game, so you don't have as many flashy options. You don't have as many like crazy abilities. You still have a lot of those. Summons are really good. Things like R's are really good. Limits and stuff are really good. Your party members are actually pretty solid in this game too, despite the memes. This game has so much heart put into it. It has so much heart put into it. It's the perfect, like, it was released at the perfect time, dude. The in-between the Disney Renaissance and like early 2000s culture. This game perfectly represents like all of that. I love this game. It has grace. Yeah. I mean, I don't mind the speed of KH1, but I know a lot of people do. I don't mind a slower action game with the slower action game. I care less about how fast and how much movement I have in an action game. Those things do matter, like, sometimes, but I think I care even more about if a game's abilities have intention behind them. And in Kingdom Hearts 1, there's intent behind, like, every button you press. So, like, you have to interact with every enemy basically one-on-one. You have things like thunder and stuff, yeah, but, like, you kind of have to... You want to interact with Kingdom Hearts 1 enemies kind of more directly when compared to other Kingdom Hearts games. Your Sora's so broken, he can just, like, nuke everyone. Other characters even can just nuke everyone with, like, a couple of buttons on screen. KH1, you get so immersed into that game, into that story, because of just how... kind of because of the speed of it. It's a slower game, so it's a slower game, so it really like takes its time to pull you in. I love that. This game is gas. Yeah, I do have a lot of nostalgia for it, but I don't care, bro. This game is nostalgia. Kingdom Hearts literally is nostalgia. This entire series, at its best, is literally nostalgia. Like, you're telling me a Disney game that is adding some of your favorite movies from when you were growing up isn't supposed to be nostalgic? Of course it is. This game is pure nostalgia. Like, that's a good thing. That's Kingdom Hearts is nostalgic in the best way imaginable. But let's move on to Kingdom Hearts 2. Now I gotta pull the notes out again for this one. So, all right, let me drink my water. I got some notes. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Let me also pull up some cutscenes for this game. Pull up the ending cutscene. All right. So, Kingdom Hearts 2 straight up. Straight up, straight up, straight up. Kingdom Hearts 2 has the best ending in video games, period. Period. That's not a hot take. That's a very common one, actually, for basically anyone who's played Kingdom Hearts 2. There is a reason this is one of the highest rated and one of the most chilled games, maybe of all time. And I'm not surprised it became that way, but you could say maybe I'm surprised it stayed that way. Kingdom Hearts 2 didn't used to be like this. Kingdom Hearts 2 used to be Kingdom Hearts 1. In the 2010s, in an era before we had, I'd say before the PS4 era of games, when it was just PS2, PS3, Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts series is a little more fresh. It barely even reached its 10th anniversary or 15th anniversary yet. Kingdom Hearts 2 was very beloved, but Kingdom Hearts 1 used to be the game that was praised this much. But time has progressed, and action games are faster now, and games get you into it quicker. So, a lot of people prefer KH2 or just prefer the sequel. But even that's not to say though, even back then people did prefer KH2. But KH2 is the best ending in video games. Period. Period. And I'll wrap back around to that maybe. Let's start from the beginning though. The Roxas prologue in Kingdom Hearts 2 was amazing. It was pretty perfect in my opinion as well. There's nothing wrong with this prologue. I know people meme the IGN thing and blah blah blah. They really took their time to tell the story they needed with KH2. And you've heard me say that a lot with some of these KH games, and it's something that I think needs to be normalized again. Taking your time with these stories and not just rushing them out, letting them breathe. That's not to say there aren't things in some of these games that probably could have been better or probably could have breathed a little bit longer, but I look at things like the Roxas prologue, the Destiny Islands prologue, as taking your time to reach a payoff. Yeah, this story starts off with the 3-hour prologue before it gets you into the game. That's pretty excessive for basically any video game, right? But some games do it, some games don't. A lot of new gen gamers, they're not fond of that sort of thing, but this is a good version of it. This prologue lets you immerse yourself into Roxas' story. You don't know who he is. The developers know you probably don't know who he is. So they're stringing you along. They're taking time to build the character. Roxas would not be as good as he is today if the prologue was 30 minutes or just an hour. So they took their time to tell you a story. It may have been long, but it did double duty by setting up the organization as villains to people who didn't play Chain of Memories, most people by the way, and built an entirely new character that became so many people's favorites. This game is special. KH2 is special. It is recently, the past year, it's been my most played game. I haven't been playing KH3 or 1 or BBS or any of these other games as much as I have in KH2, and it's mostly because of Rando. But KH2 is great. It's replayable. It's the combat's great. We'll get into everything in a little bit. But talking more about the story, this game also introduced a crap ton of characters to the franchise, man. There are so many characters that this game introduced, with the organization, and basically all of these characters in the organization were interesting. And if they weren't the most lore or story relevant, they were at the very least as cool people, cool villains rather. Characters like Zaldin don't really add that much to the overall overarching narrative of Kingdom Hearts, but bro's cool. Like, bro has a really cool boss fight. And those are things that matter. Those are things where if you aren't going to have someone be super important to the plot, making a moment like that a lot of people struggled with on their first time, and kind of cement a character, cement a villain, it feels like you're making progress. Because that's still another organization member down. That's still one step closer to the goal that they're kind of setting you up for. That's not really Sora's goal. Sora's goal isn't to defeat the organization, but rather to find Riku and Kairi, but he also kind of has to do this too. It's awesome. This game was a beautiful follow-up to KH1's ending. It was absolutely filled with moments, man. KH2's story, I actually think doesn't get talked about enough. Genuinely. Like, that might sound like a crazy statement to say, but I genuinely think KH2's story might not be talked about enough in comparison to other aspects of it. Because this game is filled with such crazy moments, and like only maybe 2 of them are the most talked about. You got moments like battling with the Final Fantasy characters, Cloud and Squall's interaction, Mickey taking off his coat, bro, in Hollow Bastion. Like, I know it sounds dumb, but Goofy died and Mickey took off his coat. That was crazy. 1,000 Heartless battle. You have Sora finding Riku again. You have like the entire ending sequence obviously that's really good. And a moment I'll throw in there. I think the Xemnas and Diz/Ansem interaction was peak beyond peak, bro. Like, Paul St. Peter and Christopher Lee are over here just having this dialogue in your ears off in the best way imaginable. They are yapping, and it's like I'm immersed. I'm like, they're talking about the philosophy of freaking hearts and what it means to have a heart, and it's so immersive. It's so cool. This game is cool. This game is sauce. This game is Kingdom Hearts 2 is definitely the coolest Kingdom Hearts game. That sounds cringe, but it's definitely the coolest Kingdom Hearts game. So it's a game that will it feels, I don't know, it's kind of edgy. It does have that Disney whimsy alongside it, but it's just cool, man. Sora got the black outfit on, like with the yellow straps. Like it's KH2, bro. I don't have to sit here and sell KH2 to you and explain to you why it's one of the best. There's so much time for that. This game is one of the best. This is one of my favorite games of all time. Still. But let's get into the worlds, where I don't really have any major negatives about the story, but the negatives I would have about the story come with the Disney worlds. Hold on, I'm trying to pull up certain things. Oopsie. Where's my tabs at? There we go. All right. So, let's get into the worlds. The worlds have a lot less going on in Kingdom Hearts 2 compared to many other Kingdom Hearts titles, but that's not a bad thing for every world. Space Paranoids and Timeless River are still some of the most creative worlds I think Square Enix has ever done for Kingdom Hearts, this period. Like, Timeless River, Space Paranoids, I would love to see more worlds like that in the series. Timeless River is this cartoon world based off of Mickey Mouse shorts from way back in the day. Space Paranoids, I used to not be high on the world, but as I kind of dive deeper into the world and the structure and like their unique approach with it, it is one of the best worlds in KH2. I came to have this opinion after watching Tron. When I saw the original movie of Tron and then went back and played KH2, I was like, wow, they took a lot of creative liberty with Tron in a good way. Like, this is the smartest, best way to use a Tron world in Kingdom Hearts. And Dream Drop's world would even follow up on the Tron story in KH2. The Dream Drop Distance Tron world would act as a sequel to KH2's story. And I actually think the grid in Dream Drop Distance is a really good world. I genuinely do. For Sora's side, not Riku. Sora's side is good, not Riku's. Alright. I think KH2's worlds, at their best, are charming and polarizing. While at their worst, they can feel a lot like stuff was left on the table. And I'm going to get into that a little bit. So, this is where my hot takes come in on the worlds for KH2. I mostly love them, and I talk very positively about them. But second visits, I'm still a little split on, because I think splitting worlds into two just kind of makes both visits feel incomplete for me, in comparison to other titles at least. I don't think this is much of a con for the game. Like, it's not much of a negative or really a bad thing. It's just kind of a gray point, you know? Because it's not the worst thing in the world for a world to feel incomplete, assuming they follow up on it in later Kingdom Hearts titles. Now, this is becoming a issue in modern day Kingdom Hearts because there's such a long gap between games. So following up on worlds properly is like, I don't know, my entire childhood, my entire high school life, teenage years. Like, it's a long time, right? But back in the day, we revisited Olympus Coliseum. I don't know how many times in Kingdom Hearts. We revisited Beast Castle. I don't know how many times in Kingdom Hearts, Agrabah, etc. Like, back in the day, you had a group of worlds that you were typically more accustomed to, more used to. But nowadays, as they're trying to do newer worlds, I don't know how they go about this. And with Kingdom Hearts 2, there's actually a lot of worlds in Kingdom Hearts 2 that you do revisit, but some that you don't. Like, I don't think we ever saw Mulan or Land of Dragons in Kingdom Hearts again after KH2. So I feel like the world kind of being where it's at felt a little odd. Like, I feel like I would have loved to see more out of Mulan, see a little more from the movie version of Mulan in the world compared to kind of the parodied abridged version we got, which that's fine. They're always going to cut some stuff out, but I just think KH2 cut out a little too much. And that's not to say Land of Dragons is a bad world. I enjoy that world, but just my criticisms of second visits is it doesn't feel like I get to immerse myself into the world as much. And I know a lot of people probably don't care about that because there's a lot of Kingdom Hearts fans, and as a lot of people have gotten older, you're probably watching animated Disney movies a lot less than you used to, you know? You probably stick to more of the classics and the more nostalgic ones, so you feel nostalgic and have a better feeling about worlds like Lion King or Mulan or Aladdin or Halloween Town because they remind you of your childhood and your comfort days. You may not feel that way about newer worlds like Tangled or Frozen or other properties. But for me, as someone who I could make a channel. I'm so into like Disney movies and animation as a whole, really, not just Disney, but I'm so into like new Disney films, Pixar films, animation, period, that I could, and I have actually made a separate animation channel where I thought about doing that, but we're not going to talk about that channel right now because I honestly don't know. I don't know. I haven't done anything on it in a while, but there was a time where I wanted to make an animation channel to talk about Disney stuff. So I care about these Disney worlds a lot. I do. So that's why second visits are a little bit of a gray area for me, where like I think they have a lot of potential, but I don't know if I like them that much. Like I like worlds in KH1 more than KH2. I like worlds in KH3 more than KH2. I even like some worlds in Dream Drop Distance and Days more than KH2 worlds. And that's not to say KH2 worlds are bad, because where KH2 does really, really good with its worlds is its original worlds. Its original worlds are absolutely amazing, and second visits get their best value in worlds like Twilight Town, Hollow Bastion. So, yeah. Now, to continue some of the negatives with worlds, I think what are definitely cons for KH2 for me when it comes to the Disney worlds are definitely worlds like Pride Lands and KH2 Atlantica. Pride Lands, for a world about a movie as beautiful and popular as Lion King, takes place in a very barren and dry version of that story. It virtually removes almost everything that makes KH2's combat really fun and unique in place of Lion Sora, with only a couple of new abilities, new attacks. Yeah, you can move fast while holding the square button, but like, I don't know. Like, I know why they didn't do it, because I mean, you shouldn't expect them to, maybe, but bro, no drive forms, most of your limits don't work. It's like, it just, you're getting less content in place for Lion King, and I feel like, if anything, Pride Land should have complemented what KH2 was already bringing to the table, like every other world does, but instead it feels like it takes away a lot of the content and is hoping that you're excited about, hey, Lion King. Which, if I'm being honest, 100% worked because let's go into the filter tab here. Let's type in Kingdom Hearts on YouTube. Kingdom Hearts on YouTube. And let's put a filter. Let's do popularity. And let's do, well, it already works. Let's do popularity. First thing that pops up, but this worked perfectly. Lion King, 71 million views of someone just uploading the cutscenes and gameplay of Lion King World in KH2. This right here is why Disney World's matter in Kingdom Hearts. Frozen's not that far behind it. Like, this is, when you look at the most viewed Kingdom Hearts videos, it is all Disney stuff. It is all Disney. It's Disney and music. That's it. Disney, music, that's all the most viewed Kingdom Hearts stuff. Then when you get lower down the list, you start to see your video essays and whatnot. But, like, how many times have you guys seen Lion King and Frozen when I've scrolled here? So freaking much, right? So, as much as I think Lion King, this is my genuine opinion. I think Pride Lands, Lion King is one of the worst worlds in Kingdom Hearts. And if I'm not including like Recoded Olympus or like mobile game worlds, I think it might be the worst world in the entire series, or one of them. I don't like Pride Lands. I'm not a fan of it. Now, KH2 Atlantica, while I would rather play that a little bit over Pride Lands, maybe, right? Well, let me backtrack a little bit. So, I do think with Pride Lands, though, if I had to say a positive of Pride Lands, the Scar boss fight was great. And I would actually say the Scar boss fight is probably one of the best villain fights in the game, and maybe even the series. I think the Scar boss fight is really good. It's a really good fight. So the first visit of Pride Lands ends on a high note. But I think the rest of the world is so boring, so underwhelming. For a movie as popular as Lion King, man, it should have been better. Like, I understand when a world like Snow White, or I understand when something like Sleeping Beauty maybe doesn't have as much going on for like a 20 minute world in Birth by Sleep. But when they do Lion King and they make it so dry and empty and like there's nothing going on, like I'm doing 2 hyenas fights, bro. Like, why am I fighting the hyenas twice instead of exploring the jungle? There's one room in the jungle. There's one room. What's going on here? It just leaves a lot to be desired, man. They could have done a lot better with that world, which I kind of think they knew they didn't put as much effort into that world, because with how boring and little value I think the world actually adds to the game, it's skippable. So there's people who have probably played KH2 and have never played the Pride Lands world. Matter of fact, I didn't play the Pride Lands world until after my first playthrough of KH2. I didn't play the Pride Lands world until after I beat the game. So, like, I don't know. And usually when I replay KH2, I don't like that world, so I skip it. I don't care to do it. Now, in Rando, it's funny because in Rando, you start every Rando with Pride Lands. Pride Lands in Rando has made me like the world slightly more. Still the worst world in KH2, though. I'm still a hater for Pride Lands. I'm sorry, chat. I'm sorry. I know some of you, there are a lot of people who have Pride Lands as one of their favorite worlds in KH2, and I get it. I understand why, you know. Lion King is one of the most popular Disney movies ever. I totally get it. Andy, bro, of course. Look, Andy, you already know. You already know. It's reading China a little bit. Yo, what's good, Dante? All right, so last negative for Worlds in KH2. As for Atlantica, there's not that much to say. The rhythm game is kind of fun, but another hot take, I'm a person that actually really enjoyed Atlantica in KH1. I on some days, I even think it might be one of my favorite worlds. I know. Well, the world tier list will be very interesting. The world tier list we do in the next couple of days is going to be very interesting. But I was very sad they turned that world into a musical. The musicals were fun, and they make for some pretty good content, but it's, I don't know. It's just kind of sad that it was a musical world. So it's kind of weird to even consider it a world in the first place, but Overall, I think Kingdom Hearts 2's worlds are very good, with very, very super high highs, but low lows. Now, combat. Combat for KH2, baby. Woo! Alright. KH2's combat is almost perfect with barely any flaws. It's what I personally would call the most polished combat in Kingdom Hearts. Meaning almost everything in the combat of KH2 has purpose, value, and this is enhanced if you play things like critical mode, level 1, or even the randomizer. Drive forms are iconic aesthetically, mechanically, and have a proper, like, I don't know. There's great incentive to using drive forms via growth abilities. There's proper incentive using growth abilities, which I know some people don't like. I know some people don't like growth abilities, but I've been made aware of over the past year. I didn't realize people hated growth abilities in KH2. But I get it because the game doesn't really make it clear how to get good movement. So if you're not leveling up drive forms, you have no idea how to get good movement. You're probably moving very slow. The game probably feels really bad outside of like hitting the X button if you don't level up drive forms, because you miss out on things like a good aerial dodge, good quick run, good glide. Like, I know as a person who plays the randomizer, bro, when I have level 1 glide, I feel slow, man. Oh my gosh, I feel so slow. But yeah, I don't know. Drive forms are good, though. I think drive forms are really good. I love drive forms, and it's one of the most iconic things about KH2, and I think they could lower the requirement on growth abilities. I want them to come back, but I think they could lower the requirement. Now, the summon system in Kingdom Hearts 2, I think KH2 is one of the only Kingdom Hearts games to have a good summon system. I actually think that's one of the weaker things in Kingdom Hearts. I think their summons are very, like, mediocre. But KH2 summons are really good. KH2 summons are really fun to use, genuinely really fun to use. I think the only other game that has a summon system I kind of like is Birth by Sleep. Birth by Sleep's D-Links are really fun. But KH2 summons are the best. They are the best summon system in Kingdom Hearts. Summons are very strong, especially summons like Stitch, which just gives you infinite MP. Very good. I think KH2 also has the best feeling finishers in Kingdom Hearts, period. Explosion is a pure shot of dopamine to the brain literally every time. Like, dog, Explosion... When I get Explosion in Rando, I am popping off. Like, Explosion is so good. Like, there is nothing... That's why I keep using this KH4 combat mod in some of my videos. Like, that Explosion effect. Explosion in Kingdom Hearts needs to come back. It needs to come back, and it needs to not be like whatever the freaking second form version of Explosion is. But bring back the real Explosion, bro. Bring back the Explosion with some oomph to it. Like, bring back the real Explosion, not the baby Explosion, not the discount diet Explosion, not the I don't know, not the Starry Night. Bring back the peak good version of Explosion. Best feeling finishers in Kingdom Hearts, period. I think KH3 only has like one finisher that's even remotely close to them, and it's still beaten by at least like 2 KH2 finishers. So, on top of the finishers in KH2, when you add things like finishing leap, multiple finishing pluses, negative combo, and KH2 Sora has some of the most, like, I don't know. Oh, I read my notes wrong. I said, so when you add things like finishing leap, finishing pluses, then you add negative combos on top of it, and on top of that, KH2 Sora, I said, has some of the most surprisingly customizable combos that feel really good. Just, yeah. Don't equip dodge slash no, chat. I wrote here, don't equip dodge slash. Don't equip that. That move sucks. But KH2 combos, they just feel great. They feel so good. Now, imagine KH2 also feels really good. Reflect and Magnet are a bit overtuned, but they feel good and satisfying, so who cares? This game is both a gem casually and becomes even more rewarding when you challenge yourself and learn it, I think. I don't know. KH2 combat's really good. It's really good, chat. It's peak. It's amazing. Like, I think there's only 2 Kingdom Hearts games that debatably have the best combat, and KH2 is one of them. Peter Pan showing up in KH2 felt nostalgic and satisfying for some reason. Explosion is peak. Yes, sir. What do you mean, Throne? Fundamentally, Cage was the best combo. My favorite is 3 after Remind, which we are going to talk about. Let me take a sip of my water again. Let me mute and give me a sec. All right, chat. I'm back. So, let's get to the final game in this tier list. Let's get to the final game in this tier list. So, straight up, it's weird talking about KH3 sometimes because it feels like I have to be on the defense, and I don't want to be that way. There's so much genuine love for this game, but because 2 is here, like I said earlier, I know how much people love 2. I know. I love it too. Dog, they're all in S tier. They're all in, like, all the number tiles for me. All of them are S tier. So, like, who cares which one I like more than the other? They're all good. They're all 10 out of 10s. They're all peak. So, like, anyways, though, it is ordered, and I do like KH3 slightly more than 2. It's like, I don't know, like this is like the caramel drizzle, on top of the cheesecake. If you're into that, like this, the cheesecake's already pretty good. It's already pretty flavorful. It's already rich and perfect and like delicious. But like you add that caramel drizzle on top, and like it makes a good thing even a little better while adding a couple more calories. So I'm kind of hungry now. All right, look, if a game can make me that emotional while playing it during its ending, it's peak. It's peak. Like let me pull up some footage right quick. Where are my KH3 cutscenes at? So like, look, chat. If a game can make me that emotional, bro, while playing it, it is peak. It's perfect. It's amazing. Maybe not maybe perfect isn't the right word, because like it's weird. I've used the word perfect a lot on this tier list because I just love Cage, man. So like sometimes rating them against each other is like it's like rating your children, bro. Like I don't know. It's like, bro, why would I do that? But makes a conversation for video games. So the entire Keyblade Graveyard act, like when you're done with the Disney worlds, the entire like end game act when you're done with all the Disney stuff is absolutely perfect. Especially post Demon Tide. Literally, it was everything I had been waiting for. It was so worth. It was so worth it. It made going through all the Disney worlds. It made going through everything. It made the wait. It made that wait with all those trailers from the announcement in 2013 all the way to this moment, to even me as a kid, fantasizing about what a KH3 could possibly look like, what a modern version of Kingdom Hearts could possibly look like. It made all of that just so worth the wait. And I know that feeling isn't shared with everyone, and I get it. For me, because it's my tier list, mine, let me stop. Because it's my tier list, for me, speaking from the heart, it was worth it for me. I loved everything about the ending sequences of KH3. I didn't have any criticisms when I watched it. Not a single one. I loved the Roxas return. I love this entire sequence right here on screen. I love the Wayfinder trio reuniting. I love that we got that Sora and Kairi Palpu fruit scene, which felt like a full circle moment from KH1. This series felt like a love letter to me for someone who not just liked KH1 or 2, but a fan who got immersed and went deeper into the rabbit hole with games like Chain of Memories, Birth by Sleep, Days, shoot, even a little bit of Recoded, man, on the gameplay side of things, I I I felt loved as a fan with this game. And I know it's the exact opposite opinion some people have, but again, my feelings, speaking from the heart. I loved this. I loved every bit of it. Like I was screaming the entire final act. I was like, I don't know, bro. I was like I was so ecstatic, like jumping around, moving all over the place, playing this game. That's why I played it off stream. My first playthrough of KH3 you can't find on YouTube. You can't find it anywhere because I didn't record it because this game, despite me being a YouTuber already at that time, this game had to be for me. I had to play it for myself. This is something that I wanted to experience like for years since I was like 5 since I first got into the Kingdom Hearts franchise as a franchise. I've been wanting to play KH3, and when I finally got it, I had to play. It was a special moment. It was such a special moment. I can't say enough about what this game means to me, but let me try. So, starting off with the Disney Worlds, I thought the Disney World's exploration was insanely fun. Like, these Kingdom Hearts 3 had some of the most fun Disney Worlds I'd ever experienced in Kingdom Hearts. It was a gem. It was magical. Like, as a kid, I'd always like wondered how to describe this. I'd always wondered what Kingdom Hearts could possibly like look, feel like in modern like graphics and settings. First thing you see is me getting hit with the coconut there, or getting hit with whatever. But these worlds are beautiful, bro. Like these worlds are pretty. Like look at Kingdom of Corona here, dude. Look at Tangled. Like this is pretty. The graphics did add a lot to me for this game. It's a very beautiful modernized look for Kingdom Hearts. I love KH3 Sora's design. I love all the form changes. They look so pretty. They feel really good. They feel really snappy. Like everything in this game feels good. Aside from maybe like a couple of things, which I'll talk about when we get to combat. But these worlds were amazing. These worlds were absolutely beautiful. On first playthrough, I loved basically all of them. And I think the one that was probably the weakest for me might have been San Fran. San Fran was a pretty weak world for me. But that might be it. Like I still like it as a world. I still think it's probably a little better than a lot of other worlds in the series. But we'll see. We'll see how that opinion ages when we get to the worlds tier list, right? I don't know. The worlds are great. So let me pull up some other scenes here. Pull up some of the cutscenes. I'm trying to look for one specifically. I'm going to pull up this one. I'm not going to pull up all of them individually. Where's the scene at? There it is. All right. So, straight up, people complain about the story in the Disney World's not mattering, and I'm not even going to get into those semantics. I'm just going to talk about what I liked about the Disney Worlds. So, for me, with the Disney Worlds in this game, they're absolutely like some of the best the series has ever done for me, and like it's a perfect modernization. I think it's debatable that maybe the choices for the worlds might not have been the greatest or the strongest, and I think the only reason they aren't as strong is because they aren't as nostalgia filled aside from the Pixar worlds. Worlds like Tangled, you don't have as much nostalgia for Tangled or Frozen, especially at the time KH3 came out. You don't have as much nostalgia for those worlds as you do worlds like Lion King or worlds like Mulan and others, because those worlds came out and you played KH1, KH2, probably when you're a lot younger, so you have a lot more fond memories and childhood charm for those worlds compared to some of the later movies that came out probably when you were in middle school, or maybe even for some of you high school. And I totally get that. I think these worlds using the Disney worlds in KH3 as guiding pieces to bring the three hearts within Sora together was absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. Because that's what the worlds were about, as you can see. Like, in Monstropolis, you have Ventus. They talk about Xion in Toy Box. Not directly, but they're alluding to Xion about puppets who are able to, they can put their own heart into a puppet of their choosing. Ventus, Monstropolis, Xion, Toy Box, Roxas, San Francisco. Those are the three hearts within Sora. Those three different hearts are talked about in multiple different worlds. Some of the most memorable moments from Disney Worlds, I think, are the Woody roast. These are some of the most memeable moments. The Woody roast, Yas Vanitas scene. these Disney Worlds have such like memorable moments that like I think are just going to be meme forever. Like I think Cage 4, Cage 5 will come out and we're still going to be talking about the Woody roasting Xehanort or Vanitas getting yeeted into freaking oblivion here. Like these moments are so good. I think the greatest Disney World in Kingdom Hearts 3 though, if I had to say, or I don't know if it's the greatest for me personally. I got to think. Like it's a toss up, right? I think my favorite Disney World in Kingdom Hearts 3 is Frozen. I said Frozen. Backtrack that. That is not my favorite. Hold up. I said that wrong. My favorite Disney World in Kingdom Hearts 3, because I was thinking of princess movies. I was looking at my cutscenes. I'm trying to pull up the cutscene. My favorite Disney World in KH3 is Tangled. Tangled is absolutely my favorite Disney World in KH3. I love that world so much. But I think one of the greatest Disney Worlds, which I often debate where it's at for me on KH3, is Pirates. Pirates is a very like weird world in that game where I'll admit I'm not that crazy about the first half of it. I'm not crazy about the first half of Pirates, but it is undoubtedly the most explorative world in the entire game. Like all these different islands you can go to, collecting the crabs. I didn't mind collecting the crabs. Some people hated it. I'm fine with that. I didn't mind it. I didn't care. That was fine for me. Collecting the crabs, man, or like exploring these other islands in post game, which is when I mainly did it. Completely night and day. My only criticism is I really wish that they, and my biggest criticism is I wish they did something that made it worth exploring the other areas in Pirates in the base game. Because it's really only worth it for post game. Like if you're doing Lucky Emblems, if you're doing 100%, but in game there's not really much pushing you to do that. Like we should have had like little things to do on the other islands that mattered in the base game. At least have like one or two of them. You know, because I think that would have added a lot to the game. But regardless, this world this world itself is more expansive than every world ever in the Kingdom Hearts series. And if this is a blueprint for what worlds could be like in future games, holy crap, we're in for like we're in for some good Disney worlds. I think Kingdom Hearts 4 has crazy potential to have some of the best Disney worlds in the franchise. Again, similar to KH3. Another take I have for the worlds is I must admit, worlds like Twilight Town, original worlds in general, were extremely disappointing, man. It sucked, but I must admit, Disney worlds were at their best in KH3, for sure, in my opinion, but original worlds were not. I think original worlds were left a lot to be desired, because you have worlds like Pirates in KH3, super expansive. You could spend like hours in Pirates alone just trying to 100% doing content, leveling up your ship, collecting crabs, just, you know, doing whatever, right? Exploring, right? And then you can also spend like 30 minutes in Twilight Town, and that's the whole visit. That sucked. Twilight Town, I figured we were going to go back to Twilight Town at some point in the story. We did not. The original worlds on KH3 were very rough. Very, very rough. On the story end, they were okay, but Keyblade Graveyard Final World, some of the best original worlds conceptually in the series. But I think like the actual explorative nature of the worlds, like as levels, they weren't like as good. But story-wise, they were strong. Keyblade Graveyard obviously being one of my favorite things just ever, right? So yeah, I think Disney worlds at their best, original worlds were not. So it's this weird yin and yang. But I think the positives outweigh the negatives for me for Disney worlds. So like there are still other great worlds in the series, but man, I do really wish they stuck the landing on original worlds. If we can get Disney worlds to be that huge, that expansive, we need to be doing even more for the original worlds, which is a opposite approach Kingdom Hearts used to take. It used to be the Disney world's got a decent bit of content, but the original world, you were spending like hours in the original world. But KH3 was weird with that, where Twilight Town was so short for like no reason. It felt like they only put Twilight Town in KH3 to be like, here, bro, take it. Like, it almost feels like they, at some point, they didn't even want to put Twilight Town in KH3 and almost thought about removing it, but they couldn't because it was so like, It was in so much of their marketing, man. Because narratively, it feels like that world just could have not been there, which sucks. So now I want to talk about the combat of KH3. And this is a big reason why I have this so high up on the list. If KH3's combat wasn't better than 2's, to me, I think 2 would be higher. Straight up, I think 2 would be higher. Even with KH3's moments, with how good KH3's moments are, like the ending, Days Trio reuniting, Wayfinder Trio reuniting, Yeetus Vanitas, freaking, there's so many like fun moments in KH3 that got me so emotional, that were so powerful, man. I loved it. Rescuing Aqua was a peak moment in that game. The Roxas fight with Vanitas, or I said Roxas fight, Aqua fight with Vanitas, amazing. There's so much, but KH3's combat, I think, has the most player expression in the series easily. Form changes offer insane versatility with playstyles and tons of replayability. Like, I've done countless replaythroughs of KH3 using different form changes, using different styles, and it's always fun. Some keyblades I like more than others. Some I definitely don't like using that much, but it's really fun because it offers I have something to look forward to every replaythrough of KH3 because it's like, okay, let me use this form change instead of this one and see how it does in this fight. What if I don't use counter show in this fight and use something else? Like, those options, being able to do that, really fun. Keyblades are absolutely, I think this I think is hard to argue against, and from my perspective, but I'd be interested to see someone argue against this. Keyblades are absolutely done the best in KH3, and they fix a very long running issue with Keyblades where my brain just lags. I read my notes wrong. I think KH3 fixed a long-running issue with Keyblades that we've had for a long time in Kingdom Hearts, where while there's still no definitive, while there definitely are stronger Keyblades in the KH series, stronger Keyblades than others, you're not putting yourself at any major disadvantage using your preferred Keyblade at a casual level. Keyword is casual level, because Ever After is definitely giga busted along with Counter Shield if you know what you're doing. Remind enhanced all the already good parts of KH3's combat, in my opinion, and allowed them to spread their wings with some actually challenging boss fights. I always say this, if Remind never came out, I do think over time KH2 would have gotten the edge over KH3 for me, at least combat-wise. But with Remind, I think KH3's combat absolutely, over the edge. It's KH3 is the definitive best in the series combat wise for me. I think what really needed to happen in base KH3 that Remind should have added, I think there's no debate, Remind should have 100% been a part of the base game, 100%. While also, at least combat wise, the combat updates, specifically combat updates, things like Oathkeeper Oblivion should have been part of base game, 100%. But what was odd about base KH3 is base Sora had virtually no combo modifiers. Like, base Sora is borderline the same in the beginning as he is in the end, and that's not a good thing. What caveated that for me, and what made that not as big of a problem for me, and what still made base KH3, even base KH3, my favorite game above KH2 for a while, right, is though I love form changes that much. I love form changes more than drive forms, especially when you're playing KH3 on Proud, or when you're playing KH3. If you're good at crit or level 1 and you know how to get form changes fast using Buzzsaw strats or using abilities that hit multiple enemies at once to build those form change arrows, you're in form changes most of the time anyways. So it's I'm not really using base Sora that much. And because I'm not using base Sora that much, I'm using my form changes kind of as my real damage a lot of the time. It made the base combos not being as good not hit as hard, you know. So that was something that I would say in defense for why I was fine with the combat before Remind. But Remind added so many needed updates and added so many quality of life things. Because bro, Speed Slash felt terrible. Triple Rush felt terrible before you were able to before they added cancel windows to those buttons, which I'm so happy they did. Now Speed Slash is one of the best combo modifiers you can add, one of the best finishers. It's actually pretty integral to one combo you can do on your Zora, where you can get them really high in the air, use Speed Slash, use Rising Spiral, then do like Sonic Slash and like Aerial Dive, like stuff like that. Super broken, like doing like freaking ceiling combos. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Remind overall put KH3's combat at some of the best in the entire series for me. Only really comparable to KH2's. KH2 and 3, the two best combat systems in the entire franchise. I love both of those games to bits and pieces. Honestly, I have love for all these games. Even Recoded. Like, I said a lot of positive things about Recoded. Recoded is great. We're not going to talk about how they changed the background music when Kyrie dies. I prefer the first version, in my opinion. I don't really mind the music change in that scene, personally. But, like, it's... I don't know. KH3 combat equals DMC light. But Mars... Kingdom Hearts was better bosses. So, we'll take that. We'll take that. KH3 is definitely the deepest they've ever went into the action game spectrum for Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts was always like a decent mix between action, RPG. Some games can lean a little more towards RPGs. Some games slightly lean more towards action. KH3, I think, is definitely way more action. Like, KH3 has way more action game mechanics. KH3 fully... Like, KH3's combat is a lot closer to, like, a DMC or, like, Bayonetta and stuff like that in terms of gameplay, in terms of, like, being able to switch combos, use different styles and stuff like that. I keep saying stuff like that. I'm freaking Kingdom Ace right now. All right. But with those things, I think the Keyblades in KH3 peak. Combat in KH3 is peak. It's so good. Koa's story is dookie, but at least the gameplay was alright. Yeah? With that, though, chat, this is my KH tier list. We are done. Dang, I actually went longer than I thought I would. High key, I went a lot longer than I thought I would. What are your guys' thoughts in the chat, though, about this tier list? How are y'all feeling? You know, it's funny. I made this tier list. I didn't even talk about music. And it's kind of because I can't really rate the music among KH games properly or fairly. Because there's so much. I don't know. Every KH game has, like, good music in it. Yeah. Every KH game has good music. Alright. So, chat, is the tier list good? Nice, worth the watch. Heck yeah. Glad you guys enjoyed. So I was originally going to do like a kind of PowerPoints, kind of similar to what like Bloody Biscuit used to do with the KH. I was going to do that, and I was going to do that last night, but I wanted to see how it would feel to just kind of go off the dome, use my own footage for this, and I think I didn't mind this approach. To be honest, though, unfortunately, I could have only done that approach with the games, because I think I should have. I cannot do a PowerPoint for Worlds, bruh. I can't do that. That's too many Worlds. Way too many Worlds. So, maybe we'll do the PowerPoint presentation style next time we do a tier list. Next year or end of this year, whenever. After a replay through of Kingdom Hearts. Of the KH series. Story playthrough, by the way. Put 0.2 in Union Cross at a D, and it's good. Nah, Ali, that's a trash take. Union Cross, gas. Union Cross, the story's gas. 0.2 is also gas. And days. Oh, nah, Ali's a tourist. Nah, we got some cage tourism in the chat right now. Bro said Union Cross, 0.2, and days in D. insane. That means you won 5 games in D. Nah. Aside from 1 game in A tier, the rest I agree. Really? All right, chat. Does KH3 above 2 trigger you? I gotta ask. Does KH3 at the top trigger you? See, I purposely didn't put KH3 above. Like, I didn't put it in its own separate tier or anything, because all the number tiles are like, this is the holy grail of Kingdom Hearts. The number tiles are the holy grail of Kingdom Hearts. If you ask someone what their favorite Kingdom Hearts game is, odds are it's going to be one of these three. It's going to be one of these three. KH3 is very divisive, but it's divisive because either you like it or either you love it or you hate it. You know what I mean? So, like, that means there's a lot of people that love it. A lot of people that love it. There's a lot of people that have it as their favorite game as well, similar to me. Zero Point 2 should be lower because those Heartless waves blocking Antiochus Super Boss fight. I honestly think that's totally fair. Ali 0.2 is just 2 hours of spamming the same few combo moves till the Heartless die, so yeah, it's trash. I mean, y'all do that in every KH game anyway, spam the same combo. Like, bro, most of y'all are mashing X. What? 0.2's combat feels pretty good, and for what it is, it's a really solid game. Like, I don't care that it's just 2 hours, because I've put hundreds of hours into this 2 hour game just because it's fun. There's a lot of things to take away from 0.2 that are really, really good. The objective system, the combat just feels really fluid for Aqua. The most fluid Aqua feels outside of KH3, to be honest. Customization is gas. Game has a ton of replayability because of how short it is. Also, the story is good. The story is really good, and it frankly has better Disney Worlds than KH2 does. Like, that might sound crazy, but 0.2 has level design on par with Kingdom Hearts 1's for a 2 hour game. A 2 hour game has level design on par with KH1's. That's saying a lot. It's crazy. Honestly, I think Future Worlds should take even more from 0.2. If they integrate more 0.2 into Future Worlds, holy, we are in for some good Disney Worlds. If you're basing it solely off of combos, Ali, like, fair play, but for me, there's a lot of other factors. If I was basing 0.2 solely off of combat, it would still be this high. Like, it would just be below the number tiles. If I was basing 0.2 off of combat alone, it'd be here, right, instead of here. But it's where it is because the combat feels better. Options are really good, but I do care about feel a lot. And for me, KH3 feels the best, followed by 2, followed by 1. Sometimes, actually, no, if I was bringing it off a combat, I'd probably put 0.2 above KH1. Because I think 0.2's combat feels better than KH1's does, usually. But it depends. How many people you pissed yet with the tier list? Apparently, Ali, from the looks of it, Ali's really passionate about 0.2 being lower, because the game's 2 hours and has the same combo. I mean, hey, Ali, you just like different things, bro. That's all it is. It's my tier list. Make your own. I don't know if KH games being short is a problem. It might be a new problem. Like, I think KH games being short didn't used to be an issue when we got more KH games. But now that we're not getting a lot of KH games, it's like, okay, if I'm going to be waiting for a game for like half a decade, maybe it should be 40 hours instead of 20, you know? But then again, I think for at least the way I play Kingdom Hearts does have a ton of replayability. So, like, it's nice to, I don't know, I like a polished game I'm able to replay. Like, I think I'll take, if you ask me, I will take a 20-hour game that I can replay multiple times over a 50, 60-hour game that I only play once. That might just be me, though. I know, like, there might, there might be a lot of different perspectives there with that one. But like for me, I think I'll take a 20-hour game I can replay over a long game I only play once and probably never again. So that's my head. That's where my head is at for that. Well, I think that's it, chat. I think that's it. That's gonna be the stream today. We might be live again with an after hours tonight, maybe, possibly. We'll see. But I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the VOD. I will probably splice this up if I can. I will probably splice this up into a video, and you'll see it sometime next month, sometime in the beginning of March. I might do the video after I do the other tier list. Maybe we'll see. We'll see what the vibes are. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate your guys' time. I appreciate you guys listening to me yap and talk your ears off. But until next time, remember to be nice, be safe, and take care, everyone. And you know what? I did that whole outro, but I gotta let me find. Is there anyone else live? Are any of my friends live by chance? Not that I see. All right. Well, y'all take care, everyone. Good night.